I'm Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. We are just about 13 minutes away from the opening kickoff here from Stony Brook, New York, between the Fordham Rams and the Stony Brook Seawolves. And Brendan, it's been a pretty even series matchup between the Fordham Rams and the Stony Brook Seawolves. They're 4-4 against each other all time. Their first matchup came way back in 1987 on October 24th. Fordham got the win 14-6. They would play in 1987 and 1988 before going on a long hiatus until the series came back in 2018, Joe Conlon's first year as the head coach of the Rams.
Yeah, you mentioned it. 6 games in the Joe Conlon era, 3-3 there, 4-4 overall all time. It's been a very even series, and some could say it's almost turned into a sort of rivalry with them having played every year since 2018, minus the COVID year in 2020. But these two teams do have a lot of history, at least recently.
Yeah, and Fordham's most recent win came back in 2023. It was also the last time Fordham got a win on the road in general. It came at Stony Brook, of course. Fordham got the win 26-7. Last year, the meeting did not go as well. If you're a Fordham Ram fan, of course. Stony Brook got the win at Rose Hill, and it was not close, Brendan, 63-21. And that came early on in that season last year when Fordham only racked up a couple of wins.
Yeah, Fordham just not a great year last year overall, but 0-7 on the road as well. You mentioned their last road win dating back to Stony Brook a couple of years ago. They have higher hopes this season. This team so far in this season has looked like it has put together a more complete aspect out there on the field, and they look to continue it today.
More complete indeed, especially with the offense firing the way that we saw last week. Gunnar Smith put on a bit of a show for these Fordham Rams under the lights. It was Gunnar Smith who shined the brightest on the field, Brendan, with nearly 400 yards. But we're going to take a moment here as we honor America here in Stony Brook, New York.
With the singing of our national anthem. Presenting our nation's colors today, the Stony Brook University Army ROTC. And performing the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome Church on the Sound. Ladies and gentlemen, Church on
And
the Sound.
what a rendition there from that group here at Stony Brook. It's Kids Day here at the stadium, so got a group of youngsters out there to sing the national anthem, and a great rendition that was. But as I was saying, Brendan, Gunnar Smith had a great performance for the Fordham Rams in his first game in a Fordham uniform at home at Moglia Stadium.
Yeah, and we saw flashes of it in week 1 at Boston College, his ability to use his legs, his ability to go through the air, and obviously the result in week 1 didn't go as was hoped for this Fordham team, but week 2 comes around. Monmouth at home, first game at home in front of the home crowd, and Gunnar didn't disappoint. He went out there, you mentioned the remarkable outing he had, and Fordham went and put up 28 points. And really, that's what you can ask from your offense is you go out and you score 25 plus. You expect to have a chance. And Fordham was in that game for a while. Unfortunately for them, that one also didn't go their way. But Gunnar, the fantastic performance in week 2 and looks to carry that on today.
Yeah, certainly needs to carry that on today if he wants to carry it forward into the rest of Patriot League play coming after this game. Of course, you asked Joe Conlon about that during the coach's sound. Just to be exact for Gunnar Smith last week, 382 yards, 27 completions on 49 attempts. That's for an average of 7.8 yards per play, 3 touchdowns and just 1 interception. Fordham, of course, you said was in that game for most of the game until sort of after the third quarter, after they scored out of the half, got back within a score, then things didn't quite pan out the way Fordham was looking for. But as we're now 7.5 minutes away from kickoff here in Stony Brook, we will send it to a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino.
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
Your Fordham football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham football, every weekend on WFUV Sports. What's up, everybody? It's Tucker Austin, one of WFUV Sports' New York Yankees beat reporters in 2025. Aaron Judge and company are hungry to return to the Fall Classic to avenge their defeat last season. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24 for live game updates, video recaps, and more as the Bronx Bombers chase their 28th World Series championship. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New York Yankees. And welcome back to Laval Stadium in Stony Brook, New York. Bright, shiny, sunny day here on Long Island. Tucker Austin joined by Brendan Shorey. It's about 75, 76 degrees outside today here up the island. Just an hour and a half or so by car away from the campus of Fordham University, 60 miles to the east of Manhattan, as we await the start of the Fordham Rams and the Stony Brook Seawolves here in week 3 of the college football season. The Fordham Rams already out on the field. They're wearing full body white today with maroon numbers and maroon helmets with white face masks. The Stony Brook Seawolves are just about to enter the field, but Brendan, Fordham is going to be missing a couple of very key players for their offense in this game, or likely will be missing a couple, I should say. We had a chance to speak to Fordham's sports information director, Joe DeBari, and he told us that both KJ Reed and Jaden Allen likely to not be suited up for the Fordham Rams this afternoon.
Yeah, KJ Reed coming into this season kind of expected to take on that number 1 wide receiver role, and a quiet game he had in week 1 at Boston College, and then last week against Monmouth goes down with an injury and was seen in a boot earlier this week and looks unlikely to play, but that's going to be a big miss for this Fordham team, missing one of their better receivers, and then Jaden Allen as well. Supposed to be that number 1 tight end coming into this season, splitting time with Matt Buron, but Jaden Allen goes down with an injury seen in a sling earlier this week, so also unlikely to play. That's going to be another big miss for Fordham.
Yeah, Allen got banged up a little bit during the Boston College game, and so he's still injured from that week 1 incident. KJ Reed, of course, caught a pass in the Monmouth game last week, but then came out immediately with some kind of an injury. He never returned and is likely still not available today, as the Stony Brook Seawolves are led onto the field by their mascot, Wolfie. They're wearing full-body navy this afternoon with white numbers and a red outline. Their pants have a white and red stripe down the side with a shiny red bucket with that Seawolves logo on the side. Brendan, both teams looking good and both teams ready for a battle this afternoon.
And you know me, Tucker, I'm a big uniform guy. I'm a big jersey guy. You gotta always respect a good jersey, and both these teams out here fitted up today. But yes, gonna be a battle. We've seen the Stony Brook team throughout the season have had a very good rushing attack. This Fordham team looking to try to get that running game going. We talked to Coach Conlon. He mentioned that he wants to get the running game going outside of just Gunnar Smith. So should be a very physical game today.
Yeah, so Fordham, he wants to establish the run on offense, does Joe Conlon. But he also gave me probably one of the best, and if not the funniest answers I've ever gotten during a coach's sound. When I asked him what the message was to the defense this week, as you just heard, he said, "Stop the run." Quite simply, 3 words. So Fordham looking to both establish the run on offense, stop it on defense. And Brendan, I think what my takeaway from that was, and I'm sure it was yours as well, this is going to be an absolute war in the trenches this afternoon.
Yes, this game is going to be won or lost in the trenches, and not just with these big guys up front making tackles and making plays, but I talked to James Conway earlier this week, and he mentioned the defensive line taking on blocks so he could be free to go make tackles. It's going to be a big game for both these defensive lines. Take up those blocks, allow your linebackers to make plays, and tackle the ball carrier in the backfield.
Fordham and Stony Brook are getting ready for the coin toss here. Both teams' captains are at either sideline here on the beautiful campus, might I say, of Stony Brook. Stony Brook, about 26,000 students between both of their campuses here in Stony Brook and down at Southampton. The current campus here at Stony Brook, constructed back in 1962, and funnily enough, they're actually a part of the State University of New York system, the SUNY system, Brendan, but they don't go by SUNY Stony Brook. They prefer the moniker Stony Brook University, as they've been known for some time. So both teams' captains out there on the field now, awaiting the coin toss. Fordham has lost both of the coin tosses through the first 2 weeks of the young season, looking to try and change their luck here today.
Wonder if there's going to be some correlation between coin toss luck and outcomes of games.
Could be, and it seems that Fordham has won the toss. A bit of mic issues there for the referee on the field, but Fordham, it appears, has both won the coin toss and chosen to defer. So if your prediction is correct, Brendan, that could mean a different result this afternoon for the Fordham Rams. Fordham with the deferral, so they'll receive to start the second half, and their sideline is jumping. Fordham is really juiced up right now. The whole of the offense and the defense out on the field here, trying to hype their guys up ahead of this kickoff. Tucker, Stony Brook a little more calm and collected on their sideline.
Tucker, that is just the energy you need going into a game like this, where it's going to be such a battle. It's going to be so physical. You bring that energy. You want to come out and fight. That's exactly what we saw from Fordham there, and that is exactly what you would hope to see as a Fordham fan from this team.
Out comes the receiving unit for Stony Brook and the kicking unit for the Fordham Rams. Fordham's kickoff man, Bennett Henderson, is out there, and back to receive for Stony Brook are Jace Freeman and Demario Crawford. Freeman, the lead return man, the 6'4", 215-pound redshirt junior, awaiting the return.
For Fordham, Bennett
Henderson has the ball on the tee. Fordham of the Patriot League, Stony Brook of the CAA, and here we go from Stony Brook, New York. The kick is a rough one. It bounces at the 20 and goes out of bounds, so that's going to be a flag on the opening kickoff against the Fordham Rams, and the ball's going to come out a little further than usual for Stony Brook.
Yeah, Henderson just got his foot around on that ball. You want to drive through the bottom of it on kickoffs, and he just got his foot a little bit around on the outside part. little bit of a wobbly kickoff and dribbles out of bounds around the 20. Not ideal for how you want to start this game.
And so the Stony Brook offense heads out there with Chris Zealous at quarterback. Empty backfield, 3 wide receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Fordham has 4 on the line of scrimmage on defense. Back to pass is Zealous. He throws quickly to the right and pushed out of bounds after a 3-yard gain by Marquise Dietz on the catch.
Yeah, just a quick out route, gets something going on first down. Marquise Dietz picks up a few.
Empty backfield again. 4 receivers on the right. 1 goes in motion now from right to left, and it's going to be a jet sweep after the motion again to Dietz. This time he gets about 5 out to the 45 of Stony Brook, and it'll be a first down.
Smart play call there. Run Dietz to the wide open side of the field, and he's able to pick up that first down.
Zealous in the shotgun again, this time Roland Dempster, that dangerous running back, offset to his right. He has 2 receivers on the right and a man in motion. It's Dietz again. It's going to be a fake handoff, and he goes to Dietz on the right side. At the 45, it's caught, and then he's brought down at the 50 for a gain of 5.
Yeah, good play there. Jack Lowe of the Fordham defensive line bit on the fake handoff.
5-yard gain. Second down and 5.
Zealous in shotgun, empty backfield again. 3 wide receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Fires to his left. It's caught there. That's the tight end, Cole Benici, and it's going to be another first down for Stony Brook in the middle of the field, across midfield, and now to the Fordham 41.
Yeah, Zealous just finds Benici in the middle of 2 zones. He settles down and picks up the first down.
13:45 to go in the first. Running back offset to the left of Chris Zealous in shotgun. He motions the running back out. Now drops back to pass. He's pressured, flushed out of the pocket, and he's moving to his right. Now across the 40, goes straight into a Fordham defender, and he's flipped over across the 35 and brought down at the 34. Great tackle there, though.
As Zealous finds a hole in that offensive line, steps up and makes the defender sit back in coverage by holding that ball back like he was going to throw it, ends up just taking off and picking up a few.
It was Drew Minich who effectively tossed him over his shoulder to bring him down. But that brings up second down and short here for Zealous with 2 running backs in the backfield. 1 man in motion, and now Dempster up the middle. He gets the first and plenty more, breaking tackles across the 20 and now down to the 15 in the middle of the field between the hash marks. And that'll be a first down and 10 from the Fordham 15. Stony Brook moving efficiently here on their first drive of the game.
Dempster so strong on that run, bouncing off the defenders and picking up the first down.
Tempo here for the Seawolves. It's a handoff to Dempster again. Up the middle, he has a hole, but he's brought down there at the 11-yard line, falls forward to the 10, but he is marked down at the 11.
That play almost identical to the last. The handoff to Dempster, run right up the middle, finds a hole, puts his shoulder down and picks up a few.
12:25 to go in the first here. Ball on the 11-yard line. It's second down and 6. Chris Zealous in the shotgun again. He moves Ikeka Ragsdale from the right to the left, with Roland Dempster set up behind him. It's a handoff to Dempster up the middle, and he's brought down by a couple of Fordham defenders there, just a gain of 2.
This play was set up earlier on this drive where they pulled that ball and threw it to Ikeka out in the flat. This time, Zealous just hands it off for the easy gain.
Third down and 3 from the Fordham 9. Referee takes a spill there, but he's back up. It's Gunn with 3 wide receivers on the right, 1 on the left. And the running back off to the left of Zealous is Shakai Carson. He drops back to pass, looking to his right. He throws right. He has an open man, but it's dropped. And there's going to be a flag on the field, though, as seemingly he got way too open, did Marquise Dietz. They tried to go back to him, but might be an offensive call here on the flag.
That one looks like some sort of pick play there designed to get Dietz wide open in the outside of the field. And it worked perfectly. There was no Fordham defender within 5 yards, but that was going to go against Stony Brook, it looks like.
Offensive pass interference.
And you heard it there from the PA announcer. Offensive pass interference is the call. I knew Dietz was a little bit too open over there on that right side, Brendan. And so Stony Brook will back up for the first time this afternoon after what was a very efficient drive. Fordham's defense was really on their heels, but a big penalty there. And Fordham actually declines the penalty here to bring up 4th down and 3. And out comes the kicking unit for Stony Brook. So a bend don't break situation here for the Fordham defense. But you like to see him forcing a field goal on this opening drive.
Something they haven't done super well so far this year, so it's a great sign to see them doing it on the first drive here.
Enda Kirby is out there for the Seawolves. His kick is up, and it is good. That one about a 27-yarder. And the Seawolves take the 3-0 lead on the field goal.
Yeah, the Seawolves so efficient on this drive. They ran tempo pretty much the entire drive, back-to-back plays, trying to tire this Fordham defense out, and they did a great job at it, drove all the way down the field. Unfortunately for them, the drop on third down that would have came back as a flag ends up bringing up a fourth down, and they get the short field goal.
11:37 to go here in the first quarter. Stony Brook leads Fordham 3-0. We'll be right back after this short break. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe Henry, one of your New York Mets beat reporters for the 2025 MLB season. From Soto's slugging to Senga's strikeouts, I'll have you covered from Citi Field all year long. Follow me on X at JoeHenry_4 for exclusive interviews, game day insights, and live coverage of every play. So take a ride on the 7 train with me as the Mets continue their quest for World Series glory. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Champion football team.
And welcome back to Laval Stadium in Stony Brook, New York, here on Long Island, 60 miles east of the Big Apple, New York City. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. It's 3-0 Stony Brook here with 11:37 to go in the first quarter. And Brendan, Stony Brook really moved the ball well on that opening drive, but gotta love what you saw from the Fordham defense, really hardening up inside of their own 10-yard line and forcing the field goal.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't seen a lot of, especially you look at the past couple of weeks, and last week in particular, 7 touchdowns scored on them last week, 0 field goals. They haven't been great at the bend, don't break. They've been snapping pretty easily, but to see them come out and just bend but stay strong there when it comes to the red zone was something that you would love to see as a Fordham fan.
And so Johan Lee Lewis is back for the return for the Fordham Rams. And to kick it away for the Seawolves, it is Michael Menino. Menino's boot is a strong one, all the way to the 1-yard line, taken there by Lewis, and he'll take it out past the 1. Now up to the 15, and he is drilled at the 17-yard line. A massive hit there. Lewis pops up immediately, so he's fine, but he got his bell rung at the 17-yard line.
Aiden Kaler right there for Stony Brook comes flying in and hits Johan Lee Lewis right in the chest plate, knocks him probably a couple yards back and almost flips him.
You heard the crowd reaction as well. That was a big hit. Fordham seeing plenty of big plays on special teams last week, and now another one here. But Gunnar Smith takes the Fordham offense out. He's in the gun. 2 wide receivers on the right, 1 on the left. The handoff goes up the middle here to Jamel James, and he gets 1 on that one, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Coach Carlin talked about getting the run game going early, and that's something we can kind of expect to see on this first drive is Fordham trying to set up the run game so that it sets up the pass game as well.
Yeah, the 5'11 junior running back Jamel James is still out there. Seemingly Fordham's number 1 option this year, with Ricky Parks still rostered, but he's usually starting games for the Fordham Rams. Shotgun again, 2 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right. It's another handoff to Jamel James, and he tries to bounce it to the left a little bit going up the middle. He's going to get about 3 yards on that play, so call it 3rd down and about 5 for the Fordham Rams.
So Tucker, Jaden Allen is out there on the field. He was the lead blocker there on that run, able to seal the edge and give Jamel James some yards.
That's big for the Fordham Rams if they can get the ball to him. He's also a great blocker as well. Shotgun again, running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. 3 receivers on the right to the far side of the field, 1 to the left. Gunnar Smith back to pass, fires to the right, and it is swatted away there. Great play on defense, and that is going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Stony Brook there shows some pressure and then drops, only bringing 3 to Gunnar Smith, dropping 8 guys in coverage, just trying to protect that first down.
Yeah, Cam Johnson with the play there. The redshirt junior corner for the Seawolves, and the punter, Will Hazlitt, will make his first appearance of the afternoon for the Fordham Rams. 10:20 to go here in the first, and Fordham getting ready to give the ball back to Stony Brook. The snap is good, and Hazlitt's punt is up and away. It's very high. It's going to come down near the 30, and the coverage is excellent there by the Fordham Rams. Another good special teams play, and the drive for Stony Brook will start at their own 29.
Michael Doctor there, a fantastic open field tackle. He just gets deep his legs as he catches the ball and brings him down, not giving up a single yard on that punt return.
And so back out for his second drive of the afternoon is Chris Zealous. Still in search of his first passing touchdown of the season. Ran in his first touchdown last week against URI right here at Laval Stadium. 2 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right goes in motion. It's play action for Zealous. He spins, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That's a great play there. Osman on the tackle for Fordham, and that brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, Osman just tracking Zealous by his hips there as he's rotating out to his left, able to track him down and get him in the backfield for a loss.
Trips right, running back to the left of Chris Zealous. No receivers on the left side of the field, the short side. Takes the snap. He takes it himself. It's a QB draw. He's brought down quickly there at the left hash by John Scott III, and that brings up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, Fordham defense not fooled there. They saw that QB draw coming all the way. Even James Conway just stayed there. He didn't back up into a pass coverage.
9:20 to go here in the first. 3rd down and 9 from their own 31. Stony Brook trying to get their second drive of the game going. Chris Zealous in the shotgun, running back to his right. 2 wide receivers on both sides. Drops back to pass. He's looking deep down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete, just off the hands of his receiver. He was looking for Terrence Jones on the coverage for the Fordham Rams. And that's a great series by the Fordham defense after giving up the field goal.
Yeah, great series there. Terrence Jones on the coverage there. You mentioned it, Tucker. Just staying on top of that post route all the way, able to get his hand in there and knock that one down.
Jace Freeman was the intended receiver. And now the punt unit out there for Stony Brook. Clayton Taylor, the punter. His boot is away. It's a little short, though, very high. Lands at the 38, and it's going to be downed at about the 40-yard line, it looks like. Yeah, it's down at the 40, so not the best punt. Fordham with some relatively ideal field position here on their own 40-yard line to start their second drive.
Yeah, Alex Kemper, the guy back there to receive that punt, and he sees how short it's coming. He just points and says, get away, let it bounce, and it bounces right back. Stony Brook catches it and downs it, and Fordham does have good field position to start this drive.
And with that, we will step away once again. 8:56 to go here in the first quarter. 3-0 is the lead for Stony Brook. And we'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Grace McCarron, and I'm one of your 2025 New York Mets beat reporters for WFUV Sports. Follow along on X at Grace McCarron_ for live game updates, features, and other inside content live from Queens all season long. From Lindor's leadoff blasts to polar bear bombs by Pete Alonso, WFUV Sports has you covered every step of the way as the Mets make the charge towards October. WFUV is your home for New York sports.
And welcome back inside Laval Stadium in Stony Brook, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you as the Stony Brook Seawolves lead the Fordham Rams 3-0 in the early going of this game. 8:56 left on the clock here in the first quarter. And a couple of good defensive drives for the Fordham Rams, but their first offensive drive not nearly as successful. Brendan, what do you want to see out of them on this second drive of the afternoon?
Well, Coach mentioned this week getting the run game going, but I also want to see Gunnar Smith use his arm a little bit. I want to see what he can do and just see if he can get a feel for this defense early on in the game.
See if he can work through his reads here on the second drive of the afternoon for the Rams.
Fordham takes over at their own 40.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right to the far side, ball on the left hash. Fordham moving left to right on their own 40-yard line. First down and 10. 1 wide receiver on the near side to the left. I believe it's now Ricky Parks offset to the right of Gunnar Smith. Smith takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Parks, now fires down the left sideline, and it's overthrown just a bit. The targeted receiver there was Ricky Gonzalez II, and it's second down and 10.
Yeah, just a simple fade route from the far side. Ricky Gonzalez is isolated before the snap. Get him going and try to throw one down the field.
The coverage was all over him, but now same formation for the Rams. Same spot for the running back as well. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to throw immediately, throws it to the left side, and has a man. It's complete. It's Noden Tracy on the short gain. Call it 5. Third down and 5 for the Rams.
Yeah, that's just making your life less miserable. You pick up about half the yards, make it third and manageable, and you're able to pick this up here on third down.
Ricky Gonzalez II lined up solo wide receiver on the left with 3 wide receivers on the right. Ricky Parks still in, offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Smith drops back to pass, fires over the middle. He has a man, it's Freeberg, and he is across the 50 for a Fordham first down. Nice play on the crossing route there.
Yeah, nice job after the catch there from Freeberg. Bounces off a defender who was about to tackle him short of the chains. Bounces off of him and reaches and gets that first down.
Great effort after the contact, and now Fordham playing with tempo. From the Stony Brook 49, Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Parks, now drops back to pass, and he is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It's a sack. That time for Stony Brook, and it's a great play there on defense to bring up second down and 11.
Sebastian Regis there finds Gunnar Smith when he's stepping up in the pocket. The pocket collapses, Gunnar steps up, and Regis is just right there to meet him and brings him down in the backfield.
Ricky Parks still in there at running back. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun once again. 2 wide receivers on the right to the far side. 2 wide receivers on the left. Man in motion is the tight end for Fordham, and it'll be a handoff up the middle and now to the right side for Parks. He gets across the 50 and then is still fighting for extra yards, but he's finally whistled down at the Stony Brook 48, but Fordham across midfield now with a third and long situation.
Yeah, Parks is navigating east-west there at the line of scrimmage. Finally sees a hole right outside of that right tackle and tries to hit it, but Stony Brook just right there, and they meet him and tackle him.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun once again. Ricky Parks still in there, offset to the left. 3 wide receivers on the right. It's the far side, and 1 wide receiver to the left, and the defensive end on the left side for Stony Brook jumped. Fordham's right tackle put a hand on him, so this is going to be an offsides call against Stony Brook. Smart play there from the Fordham right tackle. And now Fordham in a much more manageable third down situation here, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, smart play. When you're the offensive line, you just got to move, make sure that flag gets thrown.
Shotgun again, 2 wide receivers way out to the right, 1 on the left. It's going to be a handoff to Ricky Parks. He goes up the middle, charges through the middle of the field, dead between the hashes, and he's brought up just short. So he's down at the 40. It'll be 4th down and 1, and Fordham's offense stays out there.
Yeah, good run there. Gets it to 4th and very short.
Tempo, and the ball's on the ground. Gunnar Smith picks it up and tries to roll forward for the first down, but he's whistled down at the 42, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Gunnar Smith tried to hand it off to Ricky Parks for a run up the middle on 4th down and 1. They tried to get it off quickly, but the ball hits the turf, and it's a turnover on downs for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, not sure if that was a keeper or supposed to be a handoff, but Gunnar dropped it and goes down diving to try to get that ball, but in college, once you're down, you're down. You don't have to be touchdown, and Gunnar dives on that one behind the line.
Maybe a broken option play there. Maybe if Gunnar was trying to pull the ball back to himself, but either way, it's a turnover on downs, and Fordham squanders their second drive of the afternoon. Still 3-0 Stony Brook, 6:17 to go in the first now, and Chris Zealous is back out there. He hands it off up the middle to Dempster, and he gets to the left and out to the 50. He nearly breaks off for more, but he's brought down at the Fordham 48, but Stony Brook in one play is back across into Fordham territory.
Huge shout out Stony Brook offensive line. Dempster wasn't touched until he was 9 yards past the line of scrimmage there.
Tempo with an empty backfield. Chris Zealous in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Drops back to pass and throws quickly to the right. It's a wide receiver screen, and he has room. Cuts through his blockers and is brought down at the 41. Call it 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Marquise Dietz there just on the bubble screen out to the right. Has blockers in front of him. Takes it forward, just puts his shoulder down and makes it 2nd and short.
Give me 2nd down and 3. 5:30 to go here in the first. Chris Zealous trying to get his team moving once again. Dempster is back out there. He's offset to the right of Zealous. 2 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Fordham has 3 with their hand down at the line of scrimmage. It's play action to Dempster. Slow developing play. He goes over the middle, but it's incomplete there, looking for Dietz again.
Yeah, Zealous got the exact look he wanted there. Osmond playing outside linebacker on that right side. Creeps up when he sees the fake handoff. Zealous pulls it, throws it right behind where Osmond was, but that one just behind the receiver and incomplete.
3rd down and 3. Certainly you'd think out of field goal range here. Zealous in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Running back Dempster offset to the right. Play action and now throws left, and he's tackled immediately there. Dietz is brought down after a gain of 1, and that brings up 4th down and 2.
Terrence Jones saw that play the entire way, came flying up the field to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage and makes it 4th down.
And the offense still out there for Stony Brook. Not in field goal territory quite yet. Chris Zealous in the shotgun, Dempster to his right. Dietz in motion left to right. Now 2 wide receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Maybe just trying to get Fordham to jump off sides here. Ticking under 4:40 here in the first quarter. Zealous claps, takes the snap, drops back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a sack, and Fordham comes up with a huge stop on 4th down. Back-to-back 4th down stops for both of these defenses here in the first quarter.
Designed pass on that play. Zealous thinks he sees a gap in that offensive line, thinks he can scramble, but Carter sees him step up, loops around, and makes the tackle short of the sticks.
And the punters getting a little bit of extra rest here in the first quarter after they both sent a kick away. Now 2 straight drives ending after 4 full downs. Back out on the field are the Fordham Rams offense. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Jamel James is out there to his left. 2 receivers on the right, 1 in motion now to the left with another receiver on the left as well. Handoff up the middle to James across the 40 and brought down at the 42 on top of the right hash mark.
Yeah, James cuts back there on that run designed to go up the middle, cuts back, tries to go up the left side, and just puts his shoulder down. He's able to pick up a couple.
Ball on the right hash, 2nd down and 8. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, nobody on the right. Stony Brook bringing a little pressure. It's a run to the left for Jamel James. He finds a hole and finds 2 yards, no more. And that brings up 3rd down and a little long 3rd and 6.
Yeah, good look there from James. Following the pulling guard, just trying to pick up a few and make it 3rd and manageable.
James stays out there. Now Jabril Carter enters the game. He's the lone wide receiver on the right for the Rams. Ball in the center of the field on the 44. 3rd down and 6. 3 receivers on the left side. And Jamel James offset to the right of Smith. Smith drops back. Now throws to James. And Jamel James gets across the 45. He's brought down at around the 48. It's going to be another 4th down here, but 4th down and 2. But the punt unit on its way out for the Fordham Rams.
Good look there from Fordham. You have Colin Van Roy, the right tackle, pulling and trying to be a lead blocker for Jamel James. He's able to seal one guy, but this Stony Brook secondary is just sending so many hats to the ball. James not able to get to the 1st down.
Yeah, the defense started chomping at the bit when they realized there was no receiver on the right side anymore, and then Jamel James goes out there, and they had a man on him. So Will Hazlitt out to punt for the 2nd time this afternoon. The snap is a little high, but he corrals it and sends it down the field. The ball lands at about the 20, rolls forward to the 5, and the receiver back there was Dietz to take the punt, but he's brought down immediately at around the 7-yard line, maybe the 8, and so it'll be 1st and 10 Seawolves.
Very risky play there by Dietz, letting that ball bounce a couple of times. 4 Fordham defenders closing in on him, but then decides to pick it up and try to see what he can get, only ends up getting a couple.
I'll be honest, it nearly hit a Fordham player on the way down over there. And it would have been down immediately at around the 20, but instead Will Hazlitt, old reliable, once again gets a ball inside of the 10. So 1st and 10 for the Seawolves, and Chris Zealous, he has Dempster offset to his right, a wide receiver on the left and on the right. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Dempster, who tries to barrel through the line of scrimmage, but he's brought down at the left hash at the 12-yard line. Call it a pickup of about 3 or 4.
Yeah, that run designed to go left, but Dempster's so good, has such good vision. He cuts back and finds a hole in the backside and is able to pick up about 4.
2:15 to go here in the first quarter. 3-0 is the lead for Stony Brook. Zealous in the shotgun with Dempster to his right. He hands it off to Dempster again. He goes right up the middle one more time, and he picks up another handful of yards. This time he's down at the 19, and that brings up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, this close to your end zone, 2nd and medium. A run is a smart play there, and just handing it off up the middle to your star running back makes it a 3rd and manageable.
3rd down and 4 from their own 14. Chris Zealous trying to get his team out from near their own end zone. 3 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Empty backfield look here. And the man in motion is Dempster from the left to the right. Drops back to pass. He is drilled in the pocket, but he got the ball out to his tight end over the middle of the field. Cole Benici with his 2nd catch of the day. And man, Zealous took a shot on that play.
Benici, too, as well, takes a hit right where that ball is going, right in that pocket. Surprised he's able to hold on to that, but that's going to give him a 1st down.
1st down now from their own 19. Zealous takes the snap, looks to pass. He's looking right and throws deep down the field to the right. It's caught, but they're going to say no. He could not get 1 foot in bounds. Out of bounds around the 45, but that would have been a massive chunk play for this Stony Brook offense, and probably the biggest play of the afternoon.
Yeah, just a straight sprint out there from Zealous. Says, why not, and throws that one just downfield, just hoping someone could bring that in.
And it seems like Fordham may have jumped off sides on that play as well, so it was a free play regardless for Stony Brook.
It'll be 1st and 5.
And they'll move the sticks forward just a bit. 1st down and 5 for Stony Brook here from their own 24. Zealous in the shotgun, Dempster offset to his left, 3 wide receivers on the right and 1 on the left. The right side's the far side. Sends a motion man out, now fires over the middle again to his tight end. Still going back to Benici and moving the chains once again.
Yeah, another play here where Benici wears one right where that ball hits him. 2 in a row now that he's able to catch and hold on to through contact.
1st down and 10 from the 31. They go tempo, empty backfield. Looking to the right is Zealous. He has an open man at the 50, and it's caught. He's brought down at the 45. But that is going to be a, call it 15 or 20-yard passing play there. And a Seawolves 1st down.
Yeah, Jace Freeman distracts the safety, goes deep, and leaves that hole wide open on the sideline.
Tempo again, empty backfield again. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. They go for a little screen, but it's blown up immediately there. Great play closing out by Boogie Owens for the Fordham Rams, and slows down the Seawolves tempo a little bit with 15 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Boogie Owens showcasing his speed there, just so fast at that ball, and makes the tackle in the backfield.
Just 6 seconds now left on the clock, as it looks like they are going to let this one bleed out to the end of the quarter. So it's 3-0 Stony Brook at the end of the first 15 minutes of play. A lot of back and forth from both of these defenses. Both offenses making some plays as well, but Stony Brook, the only team with points on the board.
Stony Brook, the only team with points on the board. Those came on their first drive. Since then, both defenses have been standing pretty strong. A couple of turnovers on downs, a couple of punts. Both defenses look great out there.
And as the first quarter has come to an end, we send you back to the Rose Hill studio, where Isabella Terracini has your one-on-one scoreboard. Isabella?
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In Atlantic 10 action, the Richmond Spiders are 163 miles south of home in a battle against Bill Belichick and his Tar Heels with a score of 10-0 at the bottom at the end of 15.
The Holy Cross Crusaders are at home facing the Rhode Island Rams halfway through the third. It's 6-7 for Holy Cross, and an in-conference matchup between Lafayette and Georgetown is wrapping up in D.C. with 2 minutes left in the fourth. Lafayette leads 41-31. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Isabella Terracini.
And thank you very much, Isabella. You'll hear from her again at halftime and at the end of the third quarter as well. Quite possibly also during the post game, but we shall see. Either way, Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you as we await the start of the second quarter, as the one of the Stony Brook fans here has made a field goal during the break between quarters here. How about that, Brendan? I feel like we're watching college game day.
It is awesome. It's full of festivities. We saw the kids on the field earlier, kids in football jerseys. You have a bunch of child cheerleaders that are helping with the cheerleading squads here. They're really going all out today, Tucker.
Yeah, Kids Day, as we mentioned before the start of the first quarter here in Stony Brook, New York. The Stony Brook Seawolves leading the Fordham Rams 3-0 here at Laval Stadium. Fordham on their second road game of the season. For Stony Brook, their second home game. And Stony Brook is ready to get the second quarter underway. Chris Zealous has his team behind the sticks right now, but not indicative of how they've been playing in that first quarter. Zealous in the shotgun, running back offset to his left. Play action and now looking to pass. He rolls to his right. Now he's going to cut upfield and take it himself. There's a flag on the field, and he's brought down at around the 40-yard line, marked down at the 40, but we'll await the flag.
Fantastic play there by James Conway, an open field tackle on Zealous, who is not easy to get down by any means, but Conway in the open field able to bring him down by his legs.
Now, certainly a shifty runner is Chris Zealous. His one touchdown so far in the season is a rushing touchdown, but this time a holding from the wide receiver Chase Freeman brings Stony Brook back even further now behind the sticks. It's now second down and a bunch, 22 yards to go to the first down. Zealous has an empty backfield, 3 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Fordham a bit spread out on defense here, 2 safeties high. Back to pass, and now throwing over the middle to a crossing route there. It's Marquise Dietz on the short gain, but he doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage after a gain of 7 or 8. Third down and 11.
Yeah, if you're Stony Brook, you're just trying to pick up a few, make it at least possible to get this third down conversion.
Sorry, call it a gain of 10. It makes it third down and 12. 3 receivers on the right, none on the left, the short side. Ball on the left hash. At the 44 of Fordham, back to pass is Zealous. He's flushed out of the pocket again, and he's going to take it himself once again. There's another flag on the field behind the play as he's tripped out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. They mark him down at the Fordham 39, but this one might come back again.
And who else but Conway to track down Zealous in the open field there and make the tackle?
Conway with 37 tackles between his first 2 games of the year. Just an unbelievable number. Also a number that was good enough to have him tied for the lead among Division I football players this season.
It will be 3rd and 22.
But it is another holding against Stony Brook after they gained those yards from the holding back. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 22 once again. 3rd and 22, 13:50 to go in the second quarter now. Chris Zealous in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. He's pressured immediately and has to dump it off to Dietz, who gets to about midfield, and he's brought down close to the 50, but maybe a little bit short. Call it the 49.5-yard line, and that brings up 4th down and way too long.
Yeah, that play looked like it was supposed to be a screen pass to Akeke Ragsdale on the left side, but the Fordham defense sniffed it out, and Zealous panics, has to find somewhere else to go, and just gets that ball away.
And the punt unit out for Stony Brook. Clayton Taylor, the punter, is out there for the second time this afternoon. Fordham nearly got their hands on that one, but the punt is away. Received at the 9 by Kemper. They'll mark him down at the 10, and Fordham will start a new drive, their first of the second quarter, from their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, good defensive stand there from Fordham. And on Stony Brook's side, penalties are drive killers. You can't have a couple of holding penalties on one set of downs there.
And Fordham's defense may be looking out with those penalties a little bit, because Stony Brook was looking a lot like they did on that first drive of the game, Brendan, in that drive just now. But then, like you said, the penalties hampered them plenty. So now Fordham's offense back out on the field. They start from their own 10, 13:06 to go, not ticking here in the second. Takes the snap, does Gunnar Smith. It's play action, looking over the middle. It's tipped in the air, and it's intercepted at the 25. He turns around, and now he's past the 20. Now past the 10, looking for the end zone, but he's hit out of bounds at the 5. They mark he stepped out of bounds back at the 8. But it's going to be a turnover as the Seawolves have the ball inside the Fordham 10.
That pass intended for Ricky Gonzalez on the slant route, but the coverage is so tight. Defense is able to get a hand in there and pops that ball right up into the middle of 4 Stony Brook defenders, and they come down with it for the interception.
I believe it was the redshirt freshman Dominic Novello on the tip drill interception over the middle of the field. A bit of a dangerous ball there by Gunnar Smith. There were plenty of red helmets in the area of his intended target, but Chris Zealous and the Stony Brook offense back out on the field with 3 receivers on the left, and Dempster in motion now out of the backfield to the right side. It's a keeper for Zealous, and he's in! Touchdown, Stony Brook! Chris Zealous rushes it in from 7 yards out, and Stony Brook has a 9-0 lead with 12:49 to go in the second.
Zealous looks left as if he's going to throw back corner of the end zone, but that is a designed QB draw. He sneaks back, finds the hole on the right, and just takes it right in for the score.
Out for the extra point is Enda Kirby, as Stony Brook are the first team to find the end zone in this ball game. The extra point is up and good. 10-0 the lead for the Seawolves over the Rams. Stony Brook doing a great job on that very short drive that started from inside of the red zone. They did a good job turning a turnover into points.
Yeah, one play, about 8 yards. These turnovers are crucial, especially when they happen in this side of the field, inside your own 20. Stony Brook able to take advantage of it with ease there, while one drive touchdown.
One play touchdown, right? Yeah, one play touchdown for Stony Brook. After they had a lot of really solid drives earlier on in this game, their first touchdown comes off of an excellent interception on the tip drill. Great focus in that secondary for Stony Brook.
And Zealous with the legs. Again, we've seen him use them all game so far. Just his ability to use those legs and go and take this one in.
And so now it's Michael Menino for the kickoff for the Seawolves. His kick is away, lands out of bounds at the 5, and that's going to be the second kickoff violation we've seen against a kicking team in this game, Brendan. The wind blowing in the stadium the opposite direction of the way that kick just went.
And Tucker, I think we've seen 0 this season going into this game. But
yeah.
Now 2 today.
Very interesting there, but yeah, wind is moving from, we would say, the left to the right.
Fordham will take over on offense at their own 35-yard line.
I want to say that's north to south. I feel like they said the concessions are on the south side, and the wind is moving towards the concessions.
And so Fordham's offense takes over from the 35. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun takes the snap, play action, now looking over the middle. It's off the hands of his receiver, Jack Benton, and it was almost intercepted again by the safety, but ball on the turf and an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Conlon showing Gunnar Smith that he trusts him, lets him throw right after the interception. Smith steps up in the pocket this time, almost perfect on tape, and delivers that ball to Benton. That one just through his hands.
Second down and 10, 12:44 to go here in the second. Stony Brook leads 10-0. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. And this time it's a keeper for Gunnar Smith after the play action, and he has 15 yards and maybe a little bit more. He steps out of bounds at the 48, but the Fordham Rams are across midfield after Gunnar Smith shows off the legs now for Fordham.
Every single defender there bit on the fake handoff. Gunnar Smith had yards of space to go.
It's now In the backfield for the Fordham Rams, I believe it's Jamel James once again. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. The handoff goes up the middle, and no, it's actually Jacob Rodriguez who takes it straight upfield for another 10-yard gain and a little extra. He's marked down at the 36-yard line. Fordham moving quickly on this drive.
Great vision there from Rodriguez. After 2 cuts in the backfield, finally finds the hole and is able to pick up the first.
Now in the shotgun is Gunnar Smith. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It's a handoff up the middle and brought down at the 29 this time. And I believe, Brendan, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually number 13 on the Fordham Rams, Johan Lee Lewis, taking snaps at running back.
Well, Lee Lewis, we see him on kickoff returns so fast, so quick, you can see it out here.
So Gunnar Smith with Lewis in the backfield. It's another handoff to Lewis. They go back to him again, but this time the Seawolves are all over it. A couple of men in red helmets on him right at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2.
And that's the first play where Lee Lewis has run right into a Stony Brook defender. The past couple of runs, he's been able to find that hole and pick up a few yards, but now 3rd and short for this Fordham offense.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Jamel James is back out there for Fordham, offset to the right of Smith. He looks to the sideline for a play, and Fordham shifts the formation a little bit. All 3 receivers on the right going a little bit further out. Ball is roughly in the middle of the field at the 28. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Big push there by the Fordham offensive line as Jamel James gets past the sticks once again, past the 25 as well. Call it the 23 and a 1st and 10 for Fordham.
Yeah, offensive line getting so much push on this play, allowing Jamel James to not be touched until he's almost at that 1st down. All he's got to do at that point, just put your shoulder down and keep your feet churning.
Shotgun again for Gunnar Smith and the Fordham Rams. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Jamel James offset to the right of Smith, and it's another handoff to James, and he gets through the middle untouched, across the 15 and now the 10, and he's brought down at the 5. He's reaching for the end zone. He's still not down. And now he's down at the 1-yard line. What an incredible run by Jamel James there. Gives the Fordham Rams a 20-yard gain.
And sets him up 1st and goal from the 1.
Shotgun here, tempo. Gunnar Smith gives it to James again, but he is swallowed up at the 2. Great awareness by the Seawolves. They had a feeling they were going to go up the middle again, and they stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah, that time, similar play there. Jamel James, handoff up the middle out of the shotgun. This time he runs right into a pair of Stony Brook defensive linemen and isn't able to get any push.
Fordham knocking on the door here, down by 10 with ticking under 9:15 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, but a flag nearly comes out for delay of game, but it's going to be a timeout called here by Fordham head coach Joe Conlon to avoid that 5-yard penalty. So still 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line after the big run by Jamel James.
Fantastic run by James, and at the top of that run makes a huge cut. DeMario Crawford, the safety for the Stony Brook defense, is flying down at James, ready to make a massive hit, but James one cut and goes right by Crawford, able to get down to the 1.
And both teams heading back out on the field after the quick timeout. Clock is stopped here at 9:12.
2nd down and goal at the 2-yard line.
2nd and goal for the Fordham Rams. Gunnar Smith is going to be in the shotgun once again. Ricky Parks is in there, offset to his left. A wide receiver on the right and on the left. It's a handoff to Parks up the middle, and he gets a little bit of a push, but it is just a mass of humanity in there at the 1-yard line. Fordham gets that yard back, so now 3rd down, but just 1 to go here from the goal.
Yeah, and Fordham adding an extra couple of lead blockers, have 2 guys offset sitting right behind that offensive line just to see if they can get some more push.
Just a little bit more push. Right on the doorstep. Fordham trying to punch it in here. The snap. The handoff to Parks. He's hit behind the line, and he's wrapped up behind the line. It's a tackle for loss by the Seawolves defense, and that brings up 4th down and 2 What a stand here on the goal line by Stony Brook.
Yeah, 3 plays there, 3 runs up the middle, but this Stony Brook front 7 so strong there, able to make a play every single time and not give up that 1 yard.
And so Fordham sends out the kicking unit. They'll try to just get on the board here. It's Bennett Henderson on for the field goal attempt, a chip shot here from the 2-yard line. And the kick is up and it's blocked. It's recovered at the 9-yard line. What a play on special teams. Stony Brook with the blocked field goal.
Stony Brook defender came flying around the outside, dives, gets a hand up, and Bennett Henderson's kick just right into the big paw of the Stony Brook defensive lineman.
And what should have been an easy chip shot 19-yard field goal, Brendan, turns into a disaster for the Fordham special teams unit. Elation for the Stony Brook crowd here. And with that, we'll step away for just a moment. 7:56 to go in the second quarter. 10-0 the score holds. Stony Brook with the lead. You're listening to Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
I'm Kurt Sipple, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
And we welcome you back to Laval Stadium here in Stony Brook, New York. A bright, sunny fall afternoon here. A great Saturday afternoon for college football. 10-0 is the score. The lead belongs to the Stony Brook Seawolves over the Fordham Rams. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. And Fordham is just now recovering from their first blocked field goal of the season.
Yeah, it's a huge point swing there. You have 1st and goal at the 1. You think you're just about to punch it in, and then a couple minutes later, and it's 1st and 10 for the Stony Brook offense. You got nothing on the board.
However, not great field position for the Seawolves here. Fordham defense has them pinned inside their own 10. From the 9-yard line of the Seawolves, Chris Zellis has his team, and he is in the shotgun with Roland Dempster lined up behind him. One wide receiver on the left, one on the right. It's going to be a handoff to Dempster. He goes up the middle, gets a couple of yards there before falling over a Fordham defender. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Claudia Robinson there, the Fordham defensive lineman, able to show right in front of Roland Dempster and make that tackle after just a couple of yards.
2nd down and 8. Wide receiver to the right is Jace Freeman. 2 wideouts on the left with Dempster offset to the left of Zellis. Man in motion was the tight end, and they go to the left side. And it's a little bit of a screen there using the tight end motion man as a blocker. Picks up a handful. It's 3rd and short.
Yeah, screen pass over to the left. Stony Brook has the numbers because Fordham was sitting in zone on that play. Conway was the one who was able to chase down the receiver.
Ball on the left hash. Stony Brook moving left to right. 7:14 to go in the second. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It's a keeper for Zellis, and he is drilled and brought down at the 20-yard line. The hit came at the 19, but the sticks move for the Seawolves.
Yeah, Fordham defense all over that. They send people at Zellis, but Zellis just able to find the edge and pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, Drew Minich gave him a good little shot. 2nd time he's gotten to him today. Zealous takes a quick snap and fires a wide receiver screen to the left. Little spin move there to get a couple of extra yards past the line of scrimmage, and now that'll bring up another 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Des Williams there makes that play something. He was about to be tackled in the backfield, but a little spin move, and he's able to pick up a couple of yards.
2nd down and 8 from their own 22-yard line. Zealous is in the shotgun once again with Roland Dempster standing right behind him. 1 wide receiver on the right, 2 bunched up on the left. Ball still on the left hash, so 2 wide receivers on that short side of the field. Zealous moves Dempster to his right. Now motions a man to the right as well. It's going to be handoff to Dempster up the middle, and a pretty decent second effort there by Dempster. He gets through a couple of Fordham D linemen for about 3 yards. Call it 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Dempster runs right into Jack Lowe and Claudie Robinson up front. A couple of those big guys for Fordham, and they able to wrap him up and make it a 3rd and medium.
And Coach Billy Kosh calls a timeout here. There's actually an injured Ram down on the field. Apologies, I couldn't see there with the glare there for a second, Brendan, but there is an injured Fordham Ram down on the field. And we'll step away for just a moment here for the injury timeout. 6:05 to go in the second quarter. 10-0. Stony Brook leads the Fordham Rams. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hello everyone, I'm Trey Rodriguez, calling you to tune in to WFUV Sports One-on-One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. We're live every Saturday on YouTube from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later at night on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We cover the latest news in the sports world with our wide range of beat reporters, as well as exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes. We'll see you next Saturday on One-on-One.
And welcome back to Laval Stadium in Stony Brook, New York, here on Long Island, where the Stony Brook Seawolves lead the Fordham Rams 10-0 in this interconference clash between the Patriot League and the CAA, the final game before the start of Patriot League play. Stony Brook has the ball on their own 23. Fordham's man who was down was number 98, Colby Spencer, the senior D lineman from Pembroke, Massachusetts. But he popped back up off the field pretty quickly there during the injury timeout and got back in the huddle, so he seems to be okay.
And the most important thing, he still has his helmet. They're not taking that away, so it seems as if he's good to go.
Maybe a play or two off. But 6:05 on the clock here in the second, with the clock stopped, of course, for the injury timeout. 2 receivers on the left with 3 on the right. One of them's a tight end for Stony Brook. Empty backfield look here for Chris Zealous. They've emptied the backfield a handful of times in this game. Fordham with plenty of hats on the defensive line here. Well, 5 guys showing pressure. Zealous claps the snap, steps back, and now it's a QB draw, but Fordham's all over it. Swallowed behind the line of scrimmage. He leans forward to get back to the line, and that brings up 4th down and 5, and out comes the punt unit.
Yeah, 3rd and 6, and Fordham sends 5 guys on that one. Match up with every person on that offensive line. Zealous just has nowhere to go on the draw and runs right into the Fordham defense.
Clayton Taylor, the punter for Stony Brook, is out there. He'll try to boot this one away from inside of his own 15-yard line here. And he does. It's a line drive. Gets over the head of Alex Kemper at the 25, and it's going to come to rest at about the 12-yard line. So, bit of an odd punt there, a line drive. Alex Kemper certainly didn't look ready for it. It cleared him by about 10 yards and then settles inside of Fordham's 15.
Yeah, it looked like Kemper wasn't able to get a good read on that ball. Line drive punt. He charges up on it to try and catch it on the run, but it just carries further than he kind of expected. It goes over his head, and then he just decides, leave it, let them down it, let the Fordham offense come out.
So Fordham's offense, after a fairly successful drive their last time out, now comes out onto the field inside of their own 15 at the 12. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his left, 2 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. It's a handoff up the middle for about 3 or 4 yards. This time it's Lewis again getting more looks at running back for the Rams.
Yeah, Lewis brings a certain type of speed and agility that more of a receiver kind of body would have at that position.
Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left with a running back offset to his right. Ball in the middle of the field, takes the snap, throws to his right, and it's nearly dropped. Is it intercepted? I don't think so. It's ruled incomplete. But he nearly had that ball on the dive. It was Cam Johnson. But the ruling on the field was incomplete. No challenge came out, so now 3rd down and 7 yards for the Fordham Rams. 3 receivers on the right, 1 way out to the left with the ball still in the middle of the field. The left receiver is near the sideline. Gunnar Smith is in the shotgun, and there's going to be a flag here, but I think it's offsides. It is going to be offsides. As the Fordham center reached his hand out to touch a D lineman who had jumped across the line into the neutral zone. I don't think he made contact with him, but still, that motion of getting a lineman to jump causing that flag.
Dylan Haynes, the center there, sees the jump, moves just a bit, draws that flag.
Smith in the shotgun again with Johan Lee Lewis offset to his right. 3 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Still between the numbers and the sideline, that wide receiver with the ball in the middle of the field. Smith takes the snap, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Lewis, but he had red helmets on him as he was taking the handoff that time, Brendan.
Yeah, he was met in the backfield on that one. Not much Lee Lewis can do on that play except put your shoulder down and try to get back to the line. Tackle in the backfield, and Fordham's going to send out the punting unit.
So Fordham so close to getting that first down once again, but 2 yards short, and it brings up 4th and 2, and now the punt unit is back out for the Rams. 4:27 to go here in the first half. Fordham still yet to find the scoreboard in this game. They got close with that field goal, but Stony Brook made an even better play with the field goal block, and so now Will Hazlitt will send this one away. Back to receive is Marquise Dietz for Stony Brook. Punt is away. It lands at around the 34. Dietz receives and now takes it past the 40. Now to the 45 and to the 50 as he runs out of bounds. But a nice 15-yard return there by Marquise Dietz sets up Stony Brook with great field position here and 3:55 to go in the second.
Yeah, good play on the return there. That entire return team setting up and blocking in from that left boundary gives Dietz that left side to kind of get around and get that edge and try to pick up as much as he can.
And so, Stony Brook, with all 3 of their timeouts here in the first half and plenty of time on the clock, has the ball on the 50. And so they will try to put one more score on the board at least here before halftime, with Fordham receiving the kick on the other side of the half.
Yeah, not necessarily a 2-minute drill here. Still plenty of time in that regard and 3 timeouts. But if you're Stony Brook, you want to kind of run some of this clock as well. You want to bring this clock down so that Fordham doesn't have a chance after your possession ends.
And if you just heard there from the PA announcer, there was an illegal procedure penalty called against the Fordham Rams that's tacked on to the end of the return. So Seawolves in plus territory here at the Fordham 45. First down and 10. Shotgun for Zealous with 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Dempster comes out of the backfield and receives the pass here and gets past the 40, gets through another tackle and across the 35, brought down at the 33-yard line, and Stony Brook moving the chains on the first play of this drive.
Yeah, Zealous with just a 3-step drop there. He knew where he was going. The swing pass to Dempster, and Dempster's able to pick that one for the first down.
Stony Brook lined up with 2 receivers on the left and a running back offset to the right of Zealous, but Dempster has come out of the game briefly. Drops back to pass to Zealous, throws a comeback to his wide receiver on the right, but a little bit too far to his left, and that one falls incomplete, brings up second down.
Yeah, Zealous just missed Bonici over the middle on this one, the tight end, with a little bit of a mismatch with an undersized defensive back on him, running a post route that Zealous could have possibly hit for a touchdown.
Ball on the right hash, Zealous in the shotgun. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Running back offset to the left is Shakai Carson. Takes the snap, handoff to Carson. He goes up the middle. charges forward trying to get to that 30, but he is brought down at the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8, and it's going to tick under 3 minutes.
Yeah, Stony Brook trying to keep the clock running. Again, you don't want to give Fordham the ball back with too much time left on the clock. It is important for them to keep this clock running until their possession is over.
Roland Dempster back in, right behind Chris Zealous. 3 receivers bunched up on the right. Now 3 of them move to the left. Dempster out of the backfield goes to the right. Empty look, 5 wide. Zealous in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to pass. He's looking right, throws right. It's incomplete. His receiver that time, Jace Freeman, I don't think his head was turned around by the time that ball was out of his hands.
It looked like Jace Freeman kind of stumbled at the top of his route. Looked like a comeback route. Freeman gets down into his break to come back towards that ball, but trips over his own feet, falls, and that one falls incomplete.
And it looks like a field goal attempt is going to come out here. Line of scrimmage on the 31, call it a 48-yarder. 48 or 49. On the attempt here with 2:38 to go. The snap, the kick is up, and it is good from 48. Edna Kirby. Enda Kirby, I should say, with the field goal. And Stony Brook adds to their lead right before the end of the first half. It's 13-0 Seawolves.
And that kick probably had another 5 yards on it based off how high it went through those goalposts. He's got quite the leg, and he just showed us exactly how he can use it.
What a kick there. Love to see that from college kickers. Getting a little bit more length on the field goals. Field goal range keeps getting pushed back every year, it feels like, Brendan.
As a former high school kicker, it is fun to see when these college kickers are able to do something like that.
Fordham has 2 timeouts left in the first half and 2:33 to go. So they also have the 2-minute timeout on their side as well. Once they get the ball back here from Michael Menino. Menino's kickoff is away. Ball will go through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Fordham is going to bring the ball out to their own 25-yard line to start this one.
Yeah, a kickoff that doesn't go out of bounds, Tucker. That's something we've been waiting for today.
Good to see. A kickoff that didn't wind up out of bounds and wasn't returned also.
Correct.
So first touchback of the afternoon comes with 2 minutes 33 to go in the second quarter. As Fordham's offense will once again try to get back, or try to get onto the board for the first time, I should say, in this game. Going for a bit of a double dip here. Fordham receiving the kick at the start of the second half. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, but it's a handoff this time. Up the middle, I believe it's Ricky Parks. He gets past the 30 and still trying to go, but he is wrapped up by a whole gang of Seawolves. After an 8-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and 2 from the 34.
Same thought process here as Stony Brook. You want that clock to run. You don't want to have to give Stony Brook the ball back if you're Fordham. So let that clock run a little bit. Still enough time where you can afford to lose some seconds and then run a 2-minute drill.
And so now the 2-minute timeout is upon us. And Fordham, of course, keeps those 2 timeouts, but now with just 2 minutes to move the ball, 77 yards ideally down the field from their own 33. And with that, we'll take a short break, but on the other side of this, it'll be the last 2 minutes of the first half. Stony Brook leads 13-0 over the Fordham Rams, and we'll be right back after this on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
And welcome back to Laval Stadium here in Stony Brook, New York. Just an hour and a half's ride by car away from the campus of Fordham University. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. We're just about ready to get going once again here as the Stony Brook Seawolves lead the Fordham Rams 13-0 here in week 3 of the college football season. Fordham has the ball on their own 33 with 67 yards to go. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, Ricky Parks to his right with 2 wide receivers on the right side and 2 on the left. Ball just about in the middle of the hashes. Fordham moving right to left. Right now, Stony Brook only showing maybe 3 rushers here ahead of this play. And plenty of defensive backs. They know Fordham might be trying to take a shot down the field. Now set to go, the whistle to start play. Tight end in motion for Fordham. It's play action. Smith looking right to pass, and now he's flushed out. He throws a shovel pass forward to Ricky Parks, but he wasn't ready for it. It's going to be an incomplete pass because that ball hit the turf after a shovel forward. A couple of Stony Brook players fell on it as if it was a fumble, but that is an incompletion. But a really wild play there as Smith shoveled it forward into the back of Ricky Parks' helmet.
Yes, Smith stepped up in the pocket after his first couple of reads weren't there. Looked to run, but the Stony Brook defense stepped up. He looks to pitch, but as he goes to toss it, Ricky Parks turns around, hits him right in the back, and that one almost a disaster.
Yeah, Parks was looking to block for Gunnar Smith if he intended to scramble. A broken play there, but Fordham lucky not to turn it over. Gunnar Smith has it now, 3rd down and 2. It's going to be a handoff to Parks, and he has the first down about a yard past the line to gain. Call it the 36-yard line, but a minute 45 to go here in the second. Smith in the shotgun once again. First down and 10 for Fordham from the 36. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Back to pass is Smith. He's pressured out of the pocket, now flushed to his left, and he's going to have to throw it away out of bounds. And that brings up 2nd down and 10 with a stopped clock at 1:31.
Unfortunate for Smith there. He has to scramble left, which is, as a right-handed passer, the opposite side that you want to scramble to, but that's not the unlucky part. The unlucky part, all his receivers were crossing the field towards the right. He had no one to throw to and had to throw that one away.
2nd down and 10 from their own 36. Fordham trying to put points on the board before the end of the first half. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, ball on the right hash. Shotgun snap for Smith. He hands it off to Parks, who barrels past the 40 and into a man to get a strong 10-yard gain there. Or not quite 10 yards, actually. Call it 9. It brings up 3rd and 1 from the 45.
Just an outside zone play there to Parks. Lineman, go find someone and block. Parks, go put your shoulder down.
Shotgun again for Smith. He hands it off to Parks once again, but he is wrapped up immediately. Tries to get the yardage, but he's brought down for a tackle for a loss. That is going to bring up 4th down and 2. 58 seconds left in the second quarter. And Fordham is going to send their punt unit out here with almost a minute left to play here in the first half. Fordham can't quite get those points that they were looking for to end the first half.
Yeah, the Stony Brook defensive line just absolutely collapsed there on this Fordham offensive line. There was nowhere for the ball carrier to go.
And a timeout, I believe, is taken here. And yeah, it's a timeout, I believe, taken by the Fordham Rams, although the referee kind of second-guessed his own signal. And so clock stopped at least with 58 to go. 4th down and 2. Fordham was planning on a punt there. But there is a timeout on the field. Not sure. They haven't changed the scoreboards at all. And it's a Stony Brook timeout. Okay, so Stony Brook takes the timeout to stop the clock and stop Fordham from bleeding the clock down to the last possible second they could before punting. Give themselves the most possible time to try and go down and maybe put another score up on the board. They've got a kicker who's good from 48, Brendan.
He had 5 more in him at least.
Hazlitt to punt for the Rams. His punt is away, spiraling down the field and caught there for a fair catch at the 17-yard line. So Stony Brook will start what will likely be their final drive of the first half from their own 17 with a 13-point lead. The score 13-0. The Stony Brook Seawolves do lead. It was a field goal to start their afternoon for Stony Brook, and then Chris Zellis ran in his second rushing touchdown of the season after an interception of Gunnar Smith. So Zellis now out there in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Dempster up the middle, who bounces off a man across the 20 and is nearly gets loose for more, but he's brought down at about the 23, clock moving at 40.
And brought down by the hand of James Conway from behind, just reaching out, grabbing, and pulling him down.
Zellis calling an audible, now stepping back into the gun. Under 30 seconds here. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Running back offset to the right is Dempster. Tight end in motion. Now it's a handoff to Dempster up the middle. They run between the hashes, and he gets 2, maybe 3 yards, nearly gets the line to gain, but they're going to call it third down and very, very short.
A little surprised by Stony Brook here. They seemingly chose just to run the clock out. They had 50 seconds, but choosing to run the clock out and not try and go get another score before the half.
And they do indeed run the clock out, do the Stony Brook Seawolves. After a very successful first half of play, Stony Brook on the back of 2 field goals and a Chris Zellis rushing touchdown that came after an interception. That's all the scoring for Stony Brook. Fordham, on the other hand, got as close as the 1-yard line to the end zone, Brendan, but then 3 plays later found themselves kicking a field goal, and that did not quite go as planned for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, massive swing there. First and goal from the 1. 3 straight chances to just pound the ball in. They can't do that. They try and settle, and then Stony Brook blocks the field goal, takes over inside their own 10, and Fordham is left with 0 points on that possession.
0 points on that possession, and unfortunately 0 points in the first half of play for these Fordham Rams. 13-0 is the lead for Stony Brook, as that is the end of the first half. And as we await the start of the second half, we send you back to the Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Grace McCarron and Isabella Terracini. Take it away.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome into halftime of the Fordham Rams versus the Stony Brook Seawolves here in the WFUV studios in the Bronx. I'm Grace McCarron, joined by my co-host Isabella Terracini. Your score at the half is 13-0 in favor of Stony Brook. Fordham goes scoreless in the first half, and we're going to break it all down in just a moment, but first, Isabella has a scoreboard update at the half.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
It's College Football Saturday, everybody. Some ranked matchups for your knowing would be the 6th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs trail the Tennessee Volunteers as Gunnar Stockton goes for 36 to Zachariah Branch, making it a 14-21 game in favor of Tennessee. Number 18, South Florida, is looking for its 3rd-ranked win over number 5, Miami, who already put 7 on the board now on the CW. And later tonight, in primetime, number 16, Texas A&M, is very far from College Station in Notre Dame, Indiana, to face a post-bye week CJ Carr and the rest of the number 8-ranked Fighting Irish. For the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Isabella Terracini.
Alrighty, thank you, Isabella. Now, as we said earlier, 13-0 in favor of Stony Brook in that first half. Going to take you through some highlights. For the first score of the game, Stony Brook forced to settle for a field goal by their kicker, Enda Kirby, taking an early 3-0 lead in the first quarter. And then a few minutes later, Fordham quarterback Gunnar Smith's pass is intercepted by Stony Brook's Anthony Farrelly. Huge play for the Stony Brook offense.
Here in the second. Takes the snap, does Gunnar Smith. It's play action, looking over the middle. It's tipped in the air, and it's intercepted at the 25. He turns around, and now he's past the 20. Now past the 10, looking for the end zone, but he's hit.
Then immediately following that interception, Chris Zellis of Stony Brook scores the first touchdown of the game to make it 9-0 in favor of the Seawolves.
Now out of the backfield to the right side. It's a keeper for Zealous, and he's in. Touchdown, Stony Brook. Chris Zealous rushes it in from 7 yards out, and Stony Brook has a 9-0 lead with 12:49 to go in the second.
Then a few minutes later, it looked like the Fordham Rams were going to get on the board with some points with a field goal, but their kicker, Bennett Henderson's field goal attempt, blocked by Stony Brook, and the Rams remained scoreless here in the first half.
And the kick is up, and it's blocked! It's recovered at the 9-yard line. What a play on special teams. Stony Brook with the blocked field goal.
And then the last score of this half, Stony Brook kicker Enda Kirby with his second field goal of the game to make it 13-0, and that'll take us to the end of the first half. Now, Isabella, bringing you back in here. Not a ton of offense today, just 1 touchdown, 2 field goals for Stony Brook, and nothing for the Fordham Rams. But good on defense on both sides of the ball, or both teams here, I should say. What did you see from all sides of the ball so far?
I'm seeing a lot of incomplete and none first downs. Like, first downs are hard to come across right about now. We have 6 to 10 first downs, 6 for Fordham, 10 for Stony Brook, and fourth downs, no fourth downs. We're looking at a 3 out of 9 Fordham third down and a 2 out of 9 Stony Brook on third down. It's looking pretty bleak on the offensive side of the ball, but it's looking really strong on the defense. So these are 2 really strong defensive, I don't want to call them powerhouses, but James Conway is, tackling left and right. Like, he's doing exactly what he should be doing. It's just finding the people in the pocket. It's not looking great.
Yeah, as you mentioned, James Conway, the all-time Patriot leader in tackles. He's got 9 on the day thus far. Really big piece of that Fordham defense. But mentioning a few more stats here. Total yardage, Stony Brook leads that one, 182 to 110. Pass yards, 90 to 15 in favor of Stony Brook. Not really what you want to see. We've talked about Gunnar Smith. He's shown a lot of improvement. Solid start against BC 2 weeks ago in the opener. Solid game last week, I'd say. He's shown a lot of progress, but this is not really what you want to see.
It's still a really young season. Like, we're still looking at this brand new QB, brand new team. It's week 3. So there's still an entire season to go. I would like to see him coming out of the half with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more built up, like scanning the whole scene. Like, there is nobody in the backfield for most of these drives. So I'd like to see him look forward and try to complete those passes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Fordham just with a small lead on the rushing yards, 95 to 92, really picked it up a little bit in that second quarter. That was good to see. A couple of good runs there, one by Jamel James that stood out to me. But overall, I think the lesson here for Fordham and Isabella, I'd like to hear your take on this as well, is you got to capitalize here. Fordham has not thus far. They got to the 1 yard line. Obviously, that field goal there was then a blocked field goal. Not a ton that could be done for Bennett Henderson. But they've had multiple chances to get the ball into the end zone. They haven't thus far. You can't really keep settling to hope for a field goal if you want to win this game. Stony Brook is obviously very strong on defense, and so is Fordham. But win football games, you got to put some points on the board. Stony Brook, obviously 13. They're not crushing. Fordham's still very much in this game, but you got to put some points on the board at some point.
There's still 30 minutes left of gameplay, of clock. If it even goes all the way, like, this could be a tied game at the end of 4, and who knows what'll happen then. I would really like to see Fordham come out that tunnel and just have absolute, ball knowledge. Like, I want to see them, and I think they can do it. I've sensed that they are capable. James Conway and even Coach Conlon, he knows how to talk to his team. He's obviously been in that locker room for a couple years now. I think that this is a team, that this is an offense that has the potential. They just need to use they're coming out and they're on offense immediately. They won the toss and they chose to defer. So they're going to come out third quarter. You've got 30 extra minutes of gameplay. Use it to the best of your ability. Go in there, look for the people you need, just complete a pass or go on your feet. Like, Gunner's looking pretty good on his feet too. Like, he's picking up some yardage. It might not be all of the yardage that the rest of the team needs, but a little goes a long way in terms of just picking up a first down.
Absolutely. Like, do you see anything specific that needs improvement on the Fordham offense? Do you think this is just showing the strength of Stony Brook's defense? What are you seeing specifically?
I'm seeing a lot of Stony Brook defense. I'm not seeing a lot of Fordham offense. And I think that what needs to change going into the second half is a little bit more communication, a little bit more understanding of where do we want to put the ball on the field from quarterback to receiver. And then using those second and third downs to kind of really push the ball like way further. And then, hypothetically, it goes to fourth down, take the fourth down. Like, the worst case scenario is that you run out of downs. But I say punting, we've seen how many punts today?
Feels like several.
So there's been 4 Fordham punts and 3 Stony Brook punts. So the special teams are getting a lot of play time.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see a little bit more play time of offense. We've got a field goal attempt. It went punt, field goal attempt, interception, punt, turnover on downs, and punt. Like, they're scared to do another turnover of downs, but that's the worst that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking at the quarterbacks today for Stony Brook, Chris Zealous, he's 13 of 18 for 90 yards, and then Gunnar Smith, 3 of 10 for 15 yards, and obviously the interception that then led to the first Stony Brook touchdown of the game. Not what you want to see out of Gunnar Smith thus far, but you know what? He's new. He just transferred here. It's a young season. He's shown a lot of promise so far. But definitely want to see a little bit more from him and the rest of the Fordham offense in the second half. And then on the rushing end, Roland Dempster for Stony Brook, 10 carries for 57 yards, and then the Rams leader, Jamel James, 7 carries for 34 yards. So not a bad game by any means for Jamel James, but Roland Dempster has been carrying the rush game for Stony Brook. And, you got to, again, I think we've kind of been talking in circles on this one, but you got to get some points on the board here. You got to get it into the end zone. Yeah. The defense can only do so much. James Conway can only do so much. It does feel like in some games he's putting the team on his back, and you don't really want to have to do that, especially in games that you think you can win.
Yeah. Now, when this is a very new, young team, and then James Conway, 5th year grad student, he decided to stay here for an extra year. We love him for that, but it's time to kind of pass the torch. We've got to see this offense really break open, break out, just go for it. Like, they're looking really good on their feet. I say they stay on their feet and just really, it's only 100 yards.
Yeah, it's only 100 yards. They were very close there at the 1-yard line, but of course did not put any points on the board. And then Stony Brook's receivers, several of them having much better days than Fordham's, and that is partially due to the strength of their quarterback Chris Zealous on the day. But Marquise Dietz, 5 receptions for 27 yards. They have 3 guys with more than 20 yards in the first half. So we will have to see what happens here, but in just a couple minutes, we will send it back to Tucker and Brendan at Stony Brook University. But Isabella, closing thoughts for this halftime show. What do you think? What do we need to see? How can they win this game?
I want to say yes, but that's because I've been on my optimistic game all day. And it's a Saturday. Texas is up. Like, there are some really solid games on other than this one. And I want to say Fordham does have, a lot on their back right now. And a lot of that is James Conway just trying to tackle. So I want to see coming out, they have possession. I want to see them not punt it or throw it away. I want to see them go into the end zone on one time. That's all I ask. And then, once that can of worms is opened up, then we'll see where we can go from there.
Yeah, both teams still looking for their first win of the season. Both sit at 0-2 in their first 2 games. 4-4 series in their history against each other, but we'll have to see how this one turns out. We're going to take a quick break and then send it back to Stony Brook with Tucker and Brendan for your second half of Fordham football.
Hey everyone, it's Lydia Perner.
And Grace McCarron.
And we are 2 of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports.
Hey Devils fans, Tucker Austin here from WFUV Sports, one of your New Jersey Devils beat reporters for the 2025-26 season. From Hughes Brothers Havoc to Heischer hat tricks and Markstrom masterclasses, I'll have you covered live from the Prudential Center for all things Jersey hockey. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24, where I'll have live game updates, analysis, and post-game coverage all season long as the Black and Red look to bring Lord Stanley back to the Rock. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New Jersey Devils. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Laval Stadium in sunny Stony Brook, New York. Here on Long Island, I am Tucker Austin, joined by Brendan Shorey. Stony Brook just now retaking the field as we're just about 4.5 minutes away from the start of the second half. And Brendan, it was a very, very tough first quarter on this Fordham offense. However, we saw a bit of a different look out of this Fordham offense in the first half of this game compared to the first 2 weeks. A lot more run and way less passing game.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith only 15 yards through the air to this point, but the run game has looked strong. Jamel James leading that group so far today, but the run game has really been what's been carrying this Fordham offense down the field, and despite the few punts, we've seen a turnover on downs. We've seen them get down to the 1 and then have a field goal blocked, and today that is due mostly in part because of how this team is running the ball.
Yeah, Fordham, as you heard there in the halftime report, by the way, shout out to Grace McCarron and Isabella Terracini. Great job on the halftime. You'll hear from Isabella again at the end of the third quarter with more updates, and then you'll hear from the both of them again during the postgame show. But the Fordham rushing game actually outgained the Stony Brook rushing game in that first half, which is not really something I think we expected, Brendan, because coming into this one, Stony Brook's rushing game was really their entire strong suit. And as Joe Conlon said in the coach's sound, it's not necessarily that we don't think that they have a passing game, but they just haven't really been able to use it that much. But so far today, they've been a very balanced offense, have Stony Brook, and are just 3 yards short of Fordham in the rushing game. But Roland Dempster, man, what a beast. 10 carries, 57 yards. That outgains any Fordham player by at least 27 yards, or 23 yards, excuse me. He's been having an excellent game, really the engine that makes this Stony Brook offense go.
Yeah, Dempster, 5.7 yards per carry today. He's at 5.3 yards per carry on the season, 216 yards coming into this game through the first 2 games that they have played. You said he's the engine. He definitely is the engine of this team. He has been a majority of their offense throughout the beginning of this young season, and today he's showing exactly why he's able to do what he's able to do out on that field. 5.7 yards per carry today, and he looks amazing.
Yeah, and even looking back to a loss here at Laval Stadium last week, Dempster still put in 167 yards on the ground. He had over 200 total yards and a touchdown in the running game. So very much was the driving force of the offense last week, but now this week, the driving force of a winning offense as it appears through the first half. But the sun is on its way down here in Long Island. Currently the field a little dark with a large cloud, but as the sun continues to go down here for a later afternoon game, Brendan, the lights have come on. So technically, I would say Fordham has played 2 games under the lights in back-to-back weeks.
We will count it as a Saturday Night Lights type of game here. If the lights come on at all, it has to count.
And Stony Brook with their full-body Navy uniforms, save for that scarlet red helmet with a Seawolves logo on the side, white face masks, and of course those Navy jerseys with Navy pants, white numbers with red outlines. Fordham in their maroon helmets with white face masks, white jerseys, maroon numbers, white pants with that maroon and black stripe down the side. The road whites for the Fordham Rams, the home navies for the Seawolves. And as you heard during the halftime, these teams have split the overall series between each other with 4 wins apiece, dating back to 1987, but only newly renewed since 2018. Fairly interesting that, save for that COVID year, these teams have met in every year of Joe Conlon's tenure as head coach of the Fordham Rams. So he's become quite familiar playing against this team.
And it's a 3-3 record during that time as well. Very even split for these teams.
Kenneth P. Laval Stadium, our venue this afternoon, opened in September of 2002 on September 14th. In the summer of 2017, it got a $5 million expansion up to its current capacity of 12,300 fans. I'd say they're at probably a good half capacity in the building tonight as the kickoff to start the second half is away. Johan Lee Lewis on the return for the Rams past the 15, now the 20, and he breaks past the 25. He's brought down at the 30, but nearly getting loose there was Lewis on the return for the Rams. A nice little play to start the second half.
And I don't know how he saw that hole there, but a couple of cutbacks, and Johan Lee Lewis finds a sliver of light in between a couple of Stony Brook defenders and is able to pick up an extra few yards, and Fordham gets some plus yards in their starting field position.
Fordham in desperate need of points to start this second half after a scoreless first. They deferred the kickoff in the first half to the second, so now with the ball first to start the third quarter. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun takes the pass, play action, he's sacked! And the ball nearly came out, but he's simply brought down immediately on the first play from scrimmage in the second half. Gunnar Smith goes down 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And I don't know if Daishir Clary just was unblocked in that play, but as soon as Gunnar Smith faked the handoff, Clary was right in front of him and brought him down for the sack.
Smith in the shotgun once again. Ricky Parks offset to his right. 3 receivers on the left on the far side, 1 receiver on the right. Drops back to pass, fires to the left, diving and making the catch there is Jaden Allen, his first touch of the ball game, and that gets the line of scrimmage up to about 2 yards short of the original call at 3rd and 12.
Yeah, just a simple out route there to Jaden Allen, trying to pick up what they can, make it a lot more manageable for this third down.
3 receivers on the right on the far side. Ball on the left hash, 1 receiver on the left. Fordham moving right to left. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun takes the snap, now drops back. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, and he's sacked again. A second sack on the drive. What a defensive stand out of the half by Stony Brook, and boy, were they ready to play coming out of the locker rooms.
Daishir Clary yet again, his second sack of the drive. This time he's literally engaged with a block, reaches, wraps one arm around Gunnar Smith and brings him down behind the line, and Fordham now has to punt this ball away.
A quick 3 and out to start the second half for the Rams. 13-14 on the clock and ticking. Will Haslett takes the snap and boots it away. It's a bit of a low punt, It drops down at the 45, but takes a very generous Fordham Rams bounce and comes to rest at the 26. So an excellent punt there by Will Haslett once again to get Stony Brook just about as far down the field as he could have gotten them. But a unfruitful first drive for the Fordham Rams here in the third quarter.
Yeah, reliable, as you like to call him, Tucker. A great bounce on that punt. Picks up an extra about 14, 15 yards of field position there.
And so Chris Zealous is out there in the shotgun for the Seawolves offense. One receiver on the right, ball on the right hash. Two receivers on the left. Handoff to Roland Dempster up the middle. He runs through the first man that got to him and gets to about the 30. Call it 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Andrew Osmond meets Roland Dempster in the hole there, but Dempster's so good, so strong, lowers his shoulder and falls forward for an extra couple yards.
Tempo for Stony Brook. Two receivers on both sides. It's a toss to Dempster on the left side, out near the numbers, and now brought down near the sideline, but inbounds down at the 33. So that brings up 3rd down and 3.
James Conway, again, just so much faster than he should be for a guy of his size. He's able to track down Dempster out on the sideline and make the tackle. Keeps Dempster short of the first.
3 receivers on the right side for Stony Brook. One of them is the tight end, Cole Benici. Roland Dempster offset to the left of Zealous. Puts Benici in motion. Now looks over the middle to Benici, but it's intercepted at the 40-yard line by James Conway. He's brought down at the 31, but a huge play for the Fordham defense, and Fordham has the ball going the other direction.
James Conway reads Zealous this entire way. Zealous stares down Benici. Conway sees this, moves left, jumps, and that ball goes right into his hands. 1st down, Fordham.
Textbook read interception by the very experienced captain of this Fordham defense, James Conway, and gives Fordham the ball well into plus territory here. 11:58 to go in the third quarter. Could be a big momentum shift for the Fordham Rams here. Gunnar Smith in the offense out quickly. 2 receivers way out to the right near the yard marker. Ball on the left hash. Handoff up the middle to Jamel James. He gets about 2 yards to the 30 of Stony Brook. That brings up 2nd and 8.
Another 3-man front here from Stony Brook. It's something they've done a lot this game. It's just 3 down linemen with 4 linebackers behind them, but these linebackers so quick, they're able to rally to Jamel James to make the tackle.
Shotgun again for Gunnar Smith. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Running back offset to his right. Play action, looking to pass, looking right, pumps, and now flushed out of the pocket, booting out to his right, across the 30, and he's brought down there by a solo tackler after a gain of about 3 on the scramble.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith drops back, and he goes through all his progressions, but there is nobody open downfield. He has to try and escape. He's able to pick up a couple, and now it's 3rd and manageable.
3rd down and 5, ticking under 11 minutes here in the third quarter. Stony Brook leads 13-0. Ball on the right hash mark, trips left near the CAA logo for the Fordham Rams. 1 receiver on the right between the sideline and the numbers. Man in motion is Jamel James all the way out to the left of the trips on the left side. Gunnar Smith with an empty backfield fires to Freeberg on the left, and it's caught on that CAA logo. He's brought down at the 22, moving the chains of the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, it looked like the Rams caught Stony Brook in a man look there. Freeberg with a whip route, breaking from out to in. He's able to get into a bit of space and pick up that 1st down.
Ball still on the left hash here. No receivers on the left, 3 receivers on the right. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith with Jamel James to his left. It's a handoff to Jamel James. He bounces to the right, now cuts upfield, breaks through a tackle and gets to about the 16-yard line. Another good little solid chunk run play by the Fordham Rams and by Jamel James brings up 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, an outside run there to the right by James. Finds the hole open up sooner than he expects and cuts right up and goes upfield for a big gain.
Relatively similar formation for Fordham. 3 receivers still on the right. Jamel James on the left. Gunnar Smith, play action, looking right, has a man. It's caught at the 12, and he's brought down out of bounds at the 10. Ricky Gonzalez the second with the short gain there, and Fordham now has 1st and goal.
Yeah, Fordham had trips right there. It looked like some sort of levels concept. Ricky Gonzalez being the shortest, just up and out at the sticks. He catches it and gets the 1st down.
1st down and goal from the 10-yard line for the Fordham Rams, trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon. Two wide receivers on the left, one on the right. It's a handoff up the middle to Jamel James. They go back to the hot hand, and he gets about 3. So now 2nd and goal from the 7.
Yeah, it looked like the defense wasn't really accounting for Gunnar Smith and his legs there. Pretty much that entire front 7 converged on Jamel James whenever he got the handoff.
Ticking under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith. Jamel James offset to his right. One wide receiver on the right on the short side. 2 receivers on the left. Gunnar Smith drops back to pass. And he nearly finds Jamel James out of the backfield on the right side, but it drops incomplete.
5-man pressure there from Stony Brook. Gunnar Smith wants to get this ball out quickly. He finds Jamel James in the flat, but that one just right through his hands.
Johan Lee Lewis comes out to replace Jamel James. 3rd down and goal from 7 yards out. Fordham wants to get in the end zone here after they had a blocked field goal earlier in this game. 3 receivers wide to the left, ball on the right hash. 1 wide receiver on the right between the numbers and sideline. Gunnar Smith back to pass. He's looking for the fade in the back left corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. That is a great play in coverage by JoJo Garcia, who had to jump and with one hand swat the ball away in the back left corner of the end zone to bring up 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, that pass intended for Jack Freeberg in the back left corner. Gunnar Smith just underthrows it a tiny bit, and JoJo Garcia is able to get his fingertips on that ball and force the incompletion.
So close to 6 points, but now Fordham sends out Bennett Henderson to try and put 3 on the board for the Rams. It'll be about a 24-yarder. The kick is up, and it is good.
The kick is good.
Fordham on the board. Bennett Henderson with the 27-yard field goal attempt. And the score now 13-3. Stony Brook with 8:42 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a way to capitalize the drive right there. You get the turnover, you drive down, you're inside the 10. Any points are good points, and they're able to come away with 3 there and cut that deficit to 10.
More of a 24-yarder, line of scrimmage on the 7. But Fordham does a good job to get on the board and turn a turnover into more points, much similar to how Stony Brook turned a turnover into a touchdown earlier in this game. Fordham on the board. They trail by 10, 13-3. Stony Brook with the lead, 8:42 to go in the third, and we'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Hey, welcome back to what's become a much more shady Laval Stadium now, with massive cloud cover rolling in just before the start of the second half. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. 8:42 to go here in the third quarter. The Stony Brook Seawolves lead the Fordham Rams 13-3, but the Seawolves about to receive the kickoff after the Fordham field goal.
Yeah, and on their last drive, an interception. Fordham able to come down and capitalize, cut into that lead, but Zealous just with a bad read on offense. And the way he's been playing all game, you can't take just that interception and say that is just what Zealous has been like today. He's been great all day. It looked like it could have been just a hiccup, but we'll see on this next drive.
Kickoff is away. It's received at the 15 and breaking past the 25 and now the 30. Up to around the 35-yard line. There is laundry on the field, but I believe that was Jace Freeman on the return. But we'll see what the call was for the laundry on the field here.
Yeah, Jace Freeman on that one. Just a tough run right there. Picks that ball up off a bounce, but just using his strength, putting his shoulder down and running defenders over to try to pick up an extra couple of yards.
And it seems like we're going to have offsetting penalties here. At least that was the signal from the referee. It was a hold. Oh, yeah, so the one flag came out near the CAA logo at the 25 to our left here. The other flag came around the 40, and there's going to be a re-kick. Wow, how about that? So offsetting penalties on the kickoff after the Fordham field goal creates a secondary kickoff.
You remember, Tucker, when we were preparing for the season and we were calling the spring game and we had 3 punts in a row and you didn't know what to do?
I can't believe you went there, Brendan. Yes, that did happen while we were demoing our broadcasts for Fordham football this year. We called 3 or 4 punts in a row, but now I guess I'm glad we got the practice because now we're calling 2 kickoffs in a row. Bennett Henderson is going to kick it away for the second time here. And once again, the boot is fairly solid, received at the 9. And he gets past the 20 and now to the 25. The ball is out. And the call on the field, I believe that's going to be a fumble. Fumbled and recovered at the 35 by the Fordham Rams.
Fumble on the play was forced by Fordham.
Jace Freeman, the return guy there. It looked like he was stopped. He got free and then ran into another couple Fordham defenders, and then that ball was stripped as he was being tackled. He was in a pile of white jerseys, and then all of a sudden that ball pops out, and a white jersey jumps on it.
In a game that was very, very normal up to this point, it is taking a turn for the rather weird now, as an injured Fordham Ram is helped off the field here. I believe that is Mathani Paul Swinson, the junior D-back from Baltimore, Maryland, who's being helped off now. But a kickoff with offsetting penalties that is then re-kicked, and on the re-kick, Jace Freeman coughs the ball up at the 30-yard line, and Fordham has now turned over the Stony Brook Seawolves on 2 straight Seawolves possessions.
And this is something that we saw last week with Alex Kemper and his big interception, which seemed to kind of spark the Fordham offense. But we talked about it with James Conway this week too, and how much pride does this team take in forcing turnovers like that, shifting the momentum. And we've seen it now 2 possessions in a row, Fordham out here forcing a turnover and getting the ball back for their offense.
Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, Brendan, but I'm not really sure that they're calling this a fumble, because it seems like the offense for Stony Brook is still standing out on the field. Chris Zellis is out there. Roland Dempster is out there near the sideline. We're in an injury timeout.
I bet you they're reviewing it right now.
So they may be taking a look.
If you look at the chains are set up for a Fordham first down. But the Stony Brook offense is out there as if this is going to get overturned, and it's going to be Stony Brook first down.
A lot to unpack in the last maybe 15 seconds of game time. Not even, probably more like 5 or 6 seconds of game time. Just a whole lot going on. I believe it was the graduate defensive back from San Marcos, California, Trey Bradford, on the recovery for the Fordham Rams, number 36. He jumped on that ball immediately. Looked like Jace Freeman was being tackled at around the 30, and then as he was about to go to the ground, that ball just kind of slips out.
Yeah, and it's just going to come down to whether his knee or elbow was down. They are at the review right now at the little camera over there.
Yeah, you heard on the PA, and now we have both caught our eye on the officials near the replay over on the sideline near the 20-yard line on the right.
They're now showing it on the Jumbotron.
Could be an interesting look here as that looks like a fumble,
really
Brendan.
Close.
I think that ball might have been out before any part of his leg that wasn't his foot touched the ground.
They need to show that in slow motion.
He was spun around by his defender near the right hash mark at the 30-yard line, and then when he fell, as he was falling to the ground, backside first, about to hit the turf, that's about when the ball comes loose.
It's so hard to tell because his back is to us whenever that ball is ripped loose.
It's very, very close.
So you can't tell when it's ripped loose exactly.
This review is taking just as long as you would expect a review like this to go on such a relatively inconclusive replay, although
that angle might have showed fumble.
They showed an angle from just around our perspective here in the press box. I think we had a pretty solid perspective of the play when it happened. Still in the official review here, there is a very large mass of dark clouds that's now moving its way from our right to the left. The sun has been blocked out for quite some time now, maybe changing the dynamic of this game a little bit. Certainly, I think the turf would be a little bit cooler after the sun was beating down on it all afternoon.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's going to cool off a little bit, just weather-wise and temperature-wise as well, which in this kind of weather would be a little nice. Would be kind of nice to have a nice breeze out there, a soft breeze, no more sun. And it looks like they're done reviewing, Tucker. Refs are walking back towards the field.
Yep, referee getting ready to make his call. And it is going to be a first down for the Fordham Rams. They were ready for it immediately. The offense is already set up. It's two wide receivers stacked on the left. The lead man is Jabril Carter on that left side, one wide receiver on the right, and a running back to the right, slightly offset of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Three on the line on defense for Stony Brook. Back to passes Smith after the play action. He has a deep shot down the sideline to the end zone. Touchdown, Fordham! A huge shot down the field. Fordham scores. It's Troy Worrell, and it's 13-9 Stony Brook with 8:19 to go.
Double moves on the outsides. There's only one safety sitting up top. The double move beats the corner and is wide open down the sideline. Gunnar Smith places that ball perfectly right in the basket for the touchdown.
What an unbelievable throw and catch by Gunnar Smith and Troy Worrell. Worrell, the freshman out of White Plains, New York, 5'9", 170. And he made a beautiful catch. The kick is up and good by Bennett Henderson. And Brendan, we have a football game on our hands. 8:19 to go in the third quarter. 13-10 is the lead now for Stony Brook.
Yeah, 13-10 now, but you have to give so many props to Fordham coming out and attacking right there. First play after the turnover, take the deep shot, try to take the top off the defense, try to shift that momentum, and I think that's what we just saw, Tucker.
A 10-point swing on two straight turnovers forced by the Fordham defense. Although one was a special teams turnover, still want to credit it to the defense. Either way, 13-10, 8:19 to go. We're going to step away for just a moment. It's 8:19 to go in the third quarter. We'll step away for just a moment, but you are listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Laval Stadium here in Stony Brook, New York, on what used to be a sunny Long Island, and now it's a bit cloudy, but still, Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you as the Fordham Rams have clawed and fought their way back into this game. Off a couple of turnovers, they turned both into points, and now what was a 13-point lead at the half has now dwindled to a 3-point lead for Stony Brook.
Yeah, 10 straight points for Fordham off of turnovers. you cannot ask for your defense and special teams to do more than to give your offense another chance with the ball. That's exactly what they did. The offense went out there and they capitalized both times, putting 10 points on the board and making it a 3-point game.
And Bennett Henderson is ready for the kickoff. He sends it way high and received at the 12 by Dietz. There's another flag on the kickoff here. Only one, though. It came fairly late as well.
Marquise Dietz there seemed a little safety conscious with this ball, kind of diving whenever he was first hit, when he first made contact with a defender. 2 straight turnovers for Stony Brook. Dietz not wanting to make it 3 there.
And it's going to be a flag against Stony Brook at the end of the play. And so that erases what was an okay return by Marquise Dietz. And now this Fordham defense that's been playing with a little extra juice to start this second half has Stony Brook backed up inside of their own 10. From the 10-yard line, first down and 10 for the Seawolves. Chris Zealous with 2 running backs on either side. There's a couple of flags now. Fordham's sideline is really jumping over there. And it's going to be a false start against Stony Brook. So back him up another 5, and Fordham's sideline is really jumping now. You can hear him all the way on the other side of the field. First down and 15 from their own 5. Chris Zealous nearly standing in his own end zone. Roland Dempster motions, and now it's a handoff to him. He's swallowed at the line of scrimmage.
Roland Dempster on the carry.
Brought down by Carter Hess, the nose tackle. And now it's second down and very long.
Fantastic job by Hess, just shedding his block and gets into the backfield, makes first contact with Dempster and brings him down ahead of the line of scrimmage, but still in negative yards, second and 13 still.
Fordham switching things up on defense to make sure they have man coverage. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right for Stony Brook. Chris Ellis takes the shotgun snap, play action, looking deep down the middle. He is a wide open man. It's caught at the 40. Now at the 50, he's loose to the other 40. Now the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Stony Brook. Marquise Dietz. A 95-yard passing touchdown. And Stony Brook answers right back. It's 19-10 Seawolves with 7:29 to go in the third.
Yeah, Fordham brings pressure there. Linebackers come, safeties rolled down. Dietz just beats his man over the top, down the seam. Zealous hits him in stride, and Dietz cannot be caught. He takes that one all the way to the house.
It's 93 yards to be exact on the touchdown reception by Marquise Dietz. Extra point is up and good for Enda Kirby. And just like that, Stony Brook has all 7 of those points back, and they're back out to a 10-point lead, 20-10.
Yeah, talk about momentum here, Tucker. 2 turnovers, 10 straight points off of turnovers for Fordham. Completely stole the momentum, but this play right here from Stony Brook broke the 92-yard touchdown over the top to Dietz. Stony Brook just stole that momentum right back from Fordham.
Unbelievable back and forth swing here in the second half after what was a somewhat uneventful first half, at least a very slow one. This could be the temperature coming into play, Brendan. Both teams letting loose a little bit and running all over the field.
Yeah, both teams loosening up, big play after big play so far in this third quarter. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, a field goal. One of those touchdowns, a long touchdown. Both of them, actually, long touchdowns. These teams, it seems that halftime break has kind of rejuvenated them a little bit.
Certainly seems so. We're barely halfway through the third quarter here. 7:29 to go. And the kickoff is away from Michael Menino, the kickoff specialist. He puts it into the end zone for a touchback. And Fordham will try to respond here, down by 10 after probably the longest play I think I've ever seen with my own eyes, Brendan.
Yeah, very, very long play there. And just a minute, think about this kickoff, too. This one almost went out of bounds. Fordham almost got this ball with great field position, but that one bounces right by the sideline through the end zone. So now Fordham will start at the 25.
Yeah, right near that front left pylon of the end zone. But now Gunnar Smith leads his Fordham Rams out to try and respond to the big touchdown by Marquise Dietz. First passing touchdown of the year, by the way, for Chris Zealous. Smith in the shotgun, looking to pass. He has Jamel James out of the backfield to the right side. He's brought down just past the 30-yard line. First touched at the 30-yard marker on that right side of the field, and Jamel James is still down. He's being checked out by the trainers for the Fordham Rams as Stony Brook calls their defense over to the sideline.
Jamel James looks like the safety option on that play, and Gunnar throws it to him, but the tackle made on James, he had one guy down low and one guy kind of come in up high and sandwich him, and it looks like he's holding one of his legs.
Right now he's between the sideline and that 30-yard marker on the far side of the field. What would be the right side for the direction the Fordham Rams are trying to move the football. And we'll see if they can get him up and help him off the field here, since he is pretty close to the sideline, although, boy, he went down after that hit and immediately he was like a sack of potatoes. He went down, Brendan, but now he's back up. He cannot put any weight on that left foot seemingly at all, as he's helped off the field here. A huge loss for the Fordham Rams, their lead rusher tonight with 45 yards on 10 attempts. Jamel James heading for the sideline, and another injury, a high leverage injury too for these Fordham Rams.
Yeah, one of your big guys at running back. Not good to see him go down.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. They hand it off up the middle, running right on the right hash. He's brought down at the 33-yard line. It'll be third down and about 2.
Yeah, just Ricky Parks there on that one. Just a straight run up the gut, just trying to pick up a few and make it third and short.
Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Ricky Parks still in there, offset to the right. Smith drops back to pass, fires to the left, but just a few feet away from the hands of Jack Freeberg. That pass a little bit too high and a little bit too behind him.
Yeah, it looked like Gunnar kind of hesitated before throwing this. A few red hats in the area, and Gunnar looked like he took an extra step or so. Tried to hit Freeberg, but that one, as you said, Tucker, over his head and just a little behind, and it'll fall incomplete.
Yeah, brings up 4th down, and now Will Hazlitt out to punt it away for the Fordham Rams. 6:37 and a stopped clock here in the third quarter. Snap, and the punt is away for Hazlitt. Spiraling punt received at the 26 with the fair catch is the touchdown scorer, Marquise Dietz. Stony Brook will take over now with a 10-point advantage from their own 26-yard line.
Yeah, Dietz there just making the safe play, a fair catch. Fordham punt team members surrounding him as he makes that catch. Hazlitt's done a good job at limiting returns so far this game.
First down at the 26-yard line.
Quad receivers bunched up on the right side. That's 2 double stacks next to each other, pretty much in line with the yard markers on the right side of the field. Shotgun snap for Zealous, and it's a QB draw. He goes to the left side where there were no receivers and picks up a little chunk gain on first down there, 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Zealous fakes the throw over to the right as if it could possibly be a screen pass, trying to get the defense to flow that way, and then ends up going back the other way and picks up about 6.
Quick tempo on 2nd and 4. They hand it off to Roland Dempster, who nearly gets loose, but he is brought down there.
Conway with the stop.
That time James Conway involved on the stop, as well as John Scott III, and it brings up 3rd down and short.
Another fantastic tackle by Conway. They're flying up, getting Dempster by the feet and bringing him down a couple yards short of the first down.
Zealous looking to his sideline for a play call. Roland Dempster still in there. He's offset to the right. Crashing down to the line of scrimmage is Jace Freeman. There's a wide receiver far out to the right and one to the left. Shotgun snap, it's handed off to Roland Dempster, who barrels through the middle of the Fordham D-line, still fighting for extra yards out around the 40, and that is going to move the chains. First down and 10, Stony Brook from their own 40.
Yeah, the offensive line opens up just a big enough hole, and Dempster's able to find it and push forward for the first.
2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left, ball on the left hash, fake toss, and over the middle, it's Benici. A big 20-yard reception and a flag after the play as well. That could be on the hit. Although it looks like he signaled holding. But a 20-yard reception there up the middle by Cole Benici.
Fantastic throw there from Zealous. He fits that one up the seam right over the head of the linebackers. Layers that throw in Benici. It hits him right in the arms, and he wears a massive hit after catching that ball, but he comes down with it and he holds on to it.
Yeah, and the hit was big enough that I thought for a second when that flag came in, it came in a little late. I thought there was going to be some kind of a flag on the hit, although it seemed like right after the referee made the signal for a hold. There is a Stony Brook Seawolf down on the field, but he stands up. It is Benici, but rightfully so, because he took a shot after catching that one, and props to him for hanging on to the football there. The injury timeout does stop the clock, though, which is against Stony Brook's wishes. They were pounding the rock looking to chew time off of this third quarter clock with 5 minutes, 1 second to go. But they're showing replays on this on the video board of that hit, and man, he took a shot right in the side. As we're still stopped here for the injury, but we'll keep it here because they should get going again pretty soon. They might be, they're taking another look at this again, Brendan. I think they could be reviewing this either for a catch, or you don't think it's targeting,
I
do
don't
you?
think it should be targeting.
Surely not.
It was a great hit.
And, okay, so clearly the referee's microphone broke at some point because he hasn't delivered a verbal call in probably the last 10 minutes or so. And that's since the start of the second half. But the call on the field was first down Stony Brook. Right now he's signaling to the Stony Brook huddle it seemed like a calm down sign from that referee there. But it'll be ball at the 39. Now clock moving under 5 minutes. First down and 10. Chris Zealous in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It's a fake handoff, and now they go to the right side with Jace Freeman, and he is brought down after he gets across the 30. He gets to the 26-yard line, and that is a first down for Stony Brook.
Yeah, Zealous with the bootleg there on the play action. He has the option. Does he want to run it? Does he want to throw it? You're just reading the defender. The defender sits and kind of stays near Zealous, and he tosses that one out to Freeman.
3 receivers on the left side, ball on the right hash, so no receivers to the right. Offset to the left is Roland Dempster, now a man in motion from left to right. Goes back to the left. It's a fake. No, they hand it off up the middle. And it's Roland Dempster rolling forward for a couple of yards there. So bring up second down and 7. And there's another injury on the field. It's a Stony Brook Seawolf. I believe his helmet is off. Excuse me. That's a Fordham Ram down on the field.
That looks like Peter Chalhoub.
Yeah, Peter Chalhoub, which would be another awful loss for the Fordham Rams. After their lead rusher goes down, one of their older, more experienced interior linemen, Peter Chalhoub, goes down now as well. And while Chalhoub is down, I think we will step away for just a moment as he's in the middle of the field. So 3:59 to go here in the third. It is 20-10 Stony Brook. And Kelty, you can go ahead and relax again because we are not stepping away. Peter Chalhoub is walking off the field now, so we're going to keep it right here. Chalhoub being helped off the field now by his teammate,
Claudia
Robinson. Those two guys been a part of this program for some time. Both of them seniors. Chalhoub from Cleveland, Ohio. Robinson from Clifton, New Jersey. A Don Bosco Prep graduate.
2nd down and 6.
So, Chris Zealous has his team inside the 30. It's a handoff to Dempster up the middle after the injury timeout, and that's going to move the chains again. He's marked down at the 11, so the Seawolves will have a chance for a first down here, ticking under 3:40 to go in the third.
Interesting formation there on the last play. 4 receivers on the left, but they elect to hand the ball off instead and pick up the first.
3 receivers on the left this time, 1 man in motion. Dempster is still on the right. It is a play-action keeper for Zealous. He bounces around a block to the 5, and he's brought down inbounds at about the 4. It's going to be at the 4. 2nd down and 3, but there is a flag.
Option play there for Zealous. You're just reading the defensive end. If the end crashes on the running back, you pull it and keep it. If the end stays and sits and watches for your legs, you hand it. That time the edge crashes, and Zealous took it himself.
And the replay on the video board just showed Marquise Dietz giving a Fordham defender a shove after the whistle near the goal line. It's going to be unnecessary roughness against Stony Brook, and that is going to back them way up behind the sticks now after they were within 3 yards of picking up a first down and goal.
Yeah, another case there where the penalties are going to hurt your drive. Dietz pushing Conway there after the play as he's trying to get up.
And so it will be 2nd down and 18 from the Fordham 19 for Stony Brook.
2nd down and 18 from the 19.
Zealous calling his play, now drops into the shotgun with Roland Dempster right behind him. 1 wide receiver on the right, 1 on the left. It's a fake handoff to Dempster. Rolling out is Jace Freeman. He gets to the 5, reaches for the end zone, and he's in! Stony Brook touchdown! Jace Freeman. He runs a route from the left side to the right around the line of scrimmage. And after the catch, he reaches for the pylon, and it's 26-10 Stony Brook.
Marquise Dietz just made up for that flag. He's running a rub route there from right to left, and he gets in the way of Freeman's defender, kind of blocks that, but in a legal way, and Freeman's able to have a wide open path. Gets tackled pretty close to the end zone. It's going to review now. It seemed like it was very close. He dove for the pylon. Did he get in? Did he not? I guess we will see.
It was certainly close, and not the first time this drive that the Seawolves were reaching for that front right corner of the end zone. Chris Zealous nearly got there when he was brought down at the 3-yard line earlier on in this drive, or the 4. Now, see, they've played. Okay, so the ball is where it would be for an extra point. 2:47 on the clock, frozen here in the third quarter. The score 26-10, pending a touchdown review, as they're going to show the video on the video board here. The throw caught at around the 14, gets past the 10, and then is pushed out of bounds, starting at the 5. And as he begins to fall, he reaches that hand with the football back towards the pylon.
Here it's just a matter of, did his feet touch that sideline right as he was reaching, or did that ball get to the pylon before his feet hit the sideline?
Yeah, his hand needs to be the last possible thing, really, that's inbounds and not making contact with the ground. See, his left foot nearly, as the angle they just showed wasn't great, but here comes the call from the referee. And the call is confirmed. It is a touchdown, although I'm not sure if it's confirmed or stands because his mic still doesn't work. But either way, it's confirmed a touchdown for Stony Brook, 26-10 the score, awaiting the extra point here from Enda Kirby. And Kirby's extra point is up. It is good. And Stony Brook now with back-to-back touchdowns. they go up by 17. They lead it 27-10 with 2:47 to go in the third.
Yeah, that drive there, just building on the momentum that this Stony Brook team kind of stole from Fordham. Fordham had started the half, the 2 turnovers, the 2 scores, and then Stony Brook has responded with back-to-back touchdowns here, increased their lead up to 17, the highest in the game, Tucker.
Yeah, and Fordham brought this game to within as close as 3 at one point in this third quarter. But ever since Fordham came within striking distance of maybe taking the lead, Stony Brook, they kind of just turned the page, moved forward, and immediately find the end zone on 2 straight drives. One of them, a 93-yard strike to Marquise Dietz,
which was his first career pass or first passing touchdown of the season.
Of the season, yeah. And then second passing touchdown of the season comes on the very next drive to Jace Freeman with a great block, as you mentioned, by Marquise Dietz. The kickoff, it's away. It's received by Johan Lee Lewis, and he is wrapped up at the 15-yard line, brought down. Another great special teams play by Stony Brook, pinning the Fordham offense down by 17, well into their own territory.
Yeah, Lewis just trying to find a gap there, but too many Stony Brook defenders just all around there. Bring him down at the 15, like you said, Tucker, 10 yards back from where a touchback would put him.
Gunnar Smith brings his team back out, really looking to try and get something going here after Fordham has had some successful offensive drives, but then Stony Brook bringing the hammer down to re-extend their lead. Gunnar Smith pressured in the backfield, and he is going to be brought down behind the line. It's another sack for this defense of Stony Brook. They are buzzing right now, Brendan.
Yeah, Gunnar there escapes the first sack by stepping up into the pocket, but Franco Milano follows around and brings him down for the loss.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. The handoff is to Johan Lee Lewis, but the offensive line really just got moved from the middle between the hash marks all the way to the right side of the hash marks. Nowhere for Lewis to go. Third down and very long coming up.
Yeah, great job by this Stony Brook D-line to get through this Fordham offensive line and make the tackle in the backfield for the loss.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, 1 very wide out to the right. Smith dumps it down to Johan Lee Lewis, who has some space across the 20 and upended at the 25, but he has the first down. Fordham converts on 3rd and 15 deep in their own territory, and that's a first down for the Fordham Rams.
Every single Stony Brook defender on that play outside of the defensive line was at least 10 yards off the ball, gave Gunnar Smith so much room underneath. He's able to find Lewis, and Lewis is able to turn upfield.
Shotgun again with Lewis still in there. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, ball on the right hash. It's a play action. He goes back to the right for the comeback route. Believe that's Jabril Carter with a quick 10-yard strike. They're going to mark him down 2 yards short of the first, so it's 2nd and 2.
Yeah, good anticipation there by Gunnar Smith. Hits Carter before he even comes out of his break. That way the ball's waiting for Carter.
2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Ball still on the right hash. Running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the gun. Play action, back to pass, fires over the middle. He has a man sliding at the 50-yard line. It is complete. Great pass and catch. That's a good play right there for the Fordham offense, and they are moving.
Yeah, Troy Worrell right there. Just a dig route behind the linebackers. Gunnar Smith layers this ball behind the backers in front of the safeties and hits Worrell for the first.
Worrell, who caught the touchdown for Fordham earlier in this game. Now it's a handoff to Ricky Parks to the left side. He bounces outside the hash marks to the left and is brought down at the 44. So Fordham across midfield now as the clock is going to tick to 0 here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 5, ball on the Stony Brook 44. But now the third quarter comes to a close. Stony Brook leads the Fordham Rams 27-10, Brendan. But Fordham still fighting, still battling, and still trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, and Fordham putting together a really good drive right now, converting on a very big 3rd and 15. Another chunk play with that dig route to Troy Worrell, and then a good first down play on this last one. And Fordham is setting themselves up for a good drive right now.
And so, the third quarter has come and gone. And before we head to the fourth, we send you once more back to the Rose Hill studio. For the one-on-one scoreboard, here's Isabella Terracini.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In New York sports news, the New York Yankees and Max Fried Bump Day have the edge over the Red Sox 4-1 in the bottom of the fifth. The Rangers look to clinch the series over the New York Mets as it is in the top of the sixth, 1-0 Mets. The New York Giants are in Dallas for their second straight divisional matchup in a row, coming off the Commanders' loss. And Josh Allen is coming to MetLife to square off the Jets tomorrow at 1. For the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Isabella Terracini.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Laval Stadium, where afternoon is quickly turning to evening here in Stony Brook, New York, on the Long Island. I am Tucker Austin, joined by Brendan Shorey, where Stony Brook now leads the Fordham Rams 27-10 after a pair of passing touchdowns, the first two of the season for Chris Zealous. And the Fordham Rams now, once not on their heels, now right back to on their heels once again, down by 17.
Yeah, a little bit on their heels at the half, down 13-0, but Fordham came right out and punched Stony Brook in the mouth to start the third quarter. Stony Brook responded. Now Fordham has a chance to respond back.
Fordham, with the football now moving from left to right across that upright Seawolves logo. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his left with three wide receivers on the right. The handoff is to Ricky Parks, but he is swallowed immediately. Four linemen for the Seawolves got through, and they bring Ricky Parks down for a big loss all the way back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, guard pulling from left to right on that run, but the Seawolves see this, and just a sea of Seawolves see this and rush through that gap, able to bring down Ricky Parks in the backfield.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, three wide receivers on the left, one on the right, Ricky Parks in the backfield, and it's going to be a check down to Ricky Parks just out of the backfield. He's tackled for loss as well at Fordham's 49, and Fordham is going to be punting from their own territory after being on the Stony Brook 44.
Yeah, screen pass set up there for Ricky Parks. It just doesn't go according to plan. Every single Stony Brook defender was able to avoid their blocks, able to come back and make the play on Parks.
The punt unit out once again for the Fordham Rams. Will Hazlitt receives the snap and boots it away from about the 38. Ball lands near the 20 and gets out of bounds immediately.
Punt goes out of bounds.
He'll be marked down, I believe, at the 20 on the nose, but another punt inside the 20-yard line rather, for Fordham's punter Will Hazlitt.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier just how reliable he is at getting that ball inside the 20-yard line. Yet another one you noted at the 20, it's a game of field position when it comes to punts, and Hazlitt is one of the best at that.
Hazlitt always gives the Fordham defense a great chance to make excellent high-energy plays deep in enemy territory, but now Chris Zealous in the shotgun with two receivers on the left, one on the right. He goes to the left and has a man at the 20. He's moving upfield and gets to around the 30. Looks like he stepped out of bounds 2 yards short. That brings up 2nd and 2 from the 28.
Yeah, just a screen pass over on the left side. Alex Kemper blocked up, tries to get off of it, but receiver able to get 10.
Tempo here, two wide receiver stacks on either side, but it's going to be a draw for Chris Zealous out of the shotgun. He runs to the right and is brought down just before the hash marks on the right side of the field. Now 13:20 to go in the fourth. 1st down and 10 after the gain by Zealous. Tight end in motion. Two receivers on the left, one on the right. Running back Out of the backfield is Dempster. He makes the catch at the 30, is brought down by 3 Fordham defenders after getting an extra yard or 2. He's down at the 34, second down and 6.
Yeah, Zealous looks just a little surprised there at the coverage he saw from Fordham. Ends up just checking it down to Dempster, who has 3 maroon hats rally to the ball.
So now Zealous looking to the sideline for his play. He has 1 receiver to the left who swaps out with someone on the sideline. And now they're changing a couple of things up with the formation. Way out to the right goes Marquise Dietz opposite the football on the left hash mark. 1 wide receiver on the left, and Roland Dempster offset to the left of Chris Zealous. Zealous claps to the snap. Play action, back to pass, rolls to his left, now fires it out of bounds. Effectively a throwaway there. There was a receiver in the area, Chase Freeman, but that ball was not intended for him.
Yeah, it looked like Zealous went through all of his reads, saw nothing, maybe thought about scrambling, but with a bunch of short routes still developing, a lot of Fordham defenders close to the line of scrimmage, Zealous just decides to toss that one over Freeman's head.
3rd down and 6 to go here from their own 34-yard line. Chris Zealous in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers stacked up to the left, but now one of them, the tight end, is in motion. He's going to check it down to Dempster out of the backfield again, but it's another high throw. This time Dempster falls trying to catch it, and he's tackled right around the same place he went down last time, and that is going to bring up, actually it's a loss of 3, brings up 4th down and 9.
A great play there, Colby Spencer lining up on the middle of that offense on the defensive line. Sees that it's a screen pass. He gets through way too easily and immediately pursues Dempster.
And so the punt unit comes out for Stony Brook here. Back-to-back 3 and outs between both of these squads. The punt is away, and it's muffed by Kemper, and it's recovered by Stony Brook. Kemper muffs the punt at the 35. It squirts out to the 39, and it's recovered immediately by Stony Brook's coverage team. And it's the last thing that the Fordham Rams needed down 17 with under 12 to go in the 4th.
Kemper calls for a fair catch here, has to come up and get this ball. Just doesn't go as far as he expects with a couple Stony Brook defenders in his face. It looked like he just took his eyes off it for a second, and it popped right out.
And the offense for Stony Brook is quickly back out onto the field. Chris Zealous calling an audible. Roland Dempster out there offset to his left. A wide receiver way out to the left on the line. 1 wide receiver to the right on the line, and a slot man on the left as well. It's a handoff. No, it's a keeper for Zealous. He bounces outside and now gets to the 30. He goes shoulder to shoulder with a Fordham defender and does the step-through celebration at the 20-yard line after a big scramble for the Stony Brook quarterback.
Trey Bradford there, the defender, trying to come down and make a tackle on Zealous. He just lowers his shoulder and runs through the defender.
Tight formation here with wide receivers on either side. It's going to be an end around after the play-action handoff. And this time he has big yards across the 20 and now the 15, brought down at the 11. It seems like there might be an injury and also a flag on the field. No, his helmet just came off, so no injury. Yes, flag. And yes, on the creative play by Stony Brook, bringing out the end around.
Super creative. They've been using motion all day with Marquise Dietz, motioning him around behind the quarterback. This time, not Dietz, but it's the same motion around behind the quarterback, and instead of handing it off to the running back in the backfield, turns around, tosses it back to the receiver on that motion. Plenty of room.
And Des Williams was the man who got the big gain. He was flying when he got that football in the backfield, so just all the momentum bringing him forward. He flew about 4 yards after the contact to get a couple more. But now the flag does bring Stony Brook back to their own back to the Fordham 30 rather. So 1st down and 13, and a big run up the middle. Ikeka Ragsdale, the RB2 for Stony Brook, as there's a Fordham defender down near the 14-yard line.
Uh-oh.
It's James Conway sitting on the turf right now. His helmet is still on, and he's speaking to a trainer. A couple of other trainers have come out now, but seems like he's favoring one of his legs.
That's the last person you want to see go down.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Already has an interception in the game. Currently leads all active FBS all active D1 tacklers in college football. He made first team All-Patriot League last season despite playing only 4 games, had 37 tackles through the first 2 games of this season. And now Conway, under his own power though, is making his way back towards the huddle. He daps up Joe Conlon there as he is going to head straight to the sideline though, limping a little bit but still putting pressure on both of those feet. You just hope that he's okay. You hope that Chalhoub is okay. You hope that Jamel James is okay. A lot of guys going down for the Fordham Rams in this game, but Stony Brook still trying to put what could be a nail in the coffin here. 10 minutes 36 to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 17-point lead for Stony Brook. They have the ball at the Fordham 20, 2nd down and 3. Chris Zealous in the shotgun with 2 running backs flanking him on either side, a wide receiver to the right and 1 wide receiver to the left. Shotgun snap is low, handoff to Dempster. He goes up the middle, spins through the Fordham defensive line, past the 20 and gets to about the 15. That will move the chains. 1st and 10 for Stony Brook.
Yeah, the right side of this offensive line just got so much push on this play. Dempster had a clear lane up the right side just off the tackle there.
And so it is still Dempster and Ikeka Ragsdale out there. Ragsdale on the left, Dempster on the right, with Zeller in the middle. 2 receivers on the left, and this time Dempster goes in motion. Looking for the end zone on the right side is Zealous, and he has it for the touchdown! Jace Freeman mosses Alex Kemper in the back right corner of the end zone, and Stony Brook has a 33-10 lead over the Fordham Rams with 9:34 to go in the fourth.
Zealous with a fantastic throw, back corner fade of an isolated receiver, and Freeman a fantastic job at going up and getting that ball over Kemper, making the play for the touchdown.
Extra point for Enda Kirby is through. 34-10. Stony Brook now leads, and with 9:34 to go here in the fourth quarter is 24 points. Too much to ask of these Fordham Rams, Brendan.
24 points, still 3-possession game. Yes, it's difficult, but yes, it is possible. You just have to be quick, you have to be explosive on offense, and you cannot give up anything on defense.
Well, Fordham will get the football on the other side of this break, but 34-10 is the lead for the Stony Brook Seawolves over the Fordham Rams with 9:34 to go in the fourth quarter. You are listening to Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside US Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One-on-One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
Welcome back to Laval Stadium in Stony Brook, New York, out here on Long Island. Just a short hour-and-a-half car ride away from Fordham University. I'm Tucker Austin, joined by Brendan Shorey as we await the kickoff following Jace Freeman's second receiving touchdown of the evening, and, might I add, in a row for this Stony Brook team. Freeman really breaking out at the end of this game, and breaking out heavily, maybe for the season, is quarterback Chris Zealous with 3 passing touchdowns on the evening.
Yeah, 3 passing touchdowns today. He hadn't had any coming into this game, but Freeman Both touchdowns coming in very different ways. The first one, a catch and run from behind the line of scrimmage, takes it to the corner of the end zone. This last one, just a jump ball, 50-50 ball, back corner of the end zone. He goes up, he makes the play.
260 total receiving yards for Stony Brook on the day. This comes after, I believe, they did not eclipse 100 in their first 2 games in the passing game. The kickoff here from Menino is received at the 1 by Lewis, who gets all the way up to the 25 before he's wrestled down at the 27, and Fordham will take over from closer to the 29.
And Tucker, you mentioned this game for Stony Brook, 200-plus passing yards. Zealous had come into this game with only 158, so already having eclipsed his season total in passing yards today.
In just a single game.
In just a single game.
And they're also well over 400 total yards of offense on the day. But now the Fordham offense will try, as they might, to get themselves back into this football game. Gunnar Smith looking over the middle. It's nearly intercepted, looking for Jack Benton through the hands of the defensive back, and incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
A.J. Roberts there in the coverage. The linebacker, he's not fooled by the play action. He drops back with these receivers, and that pass intended for Benton. Roberts is able to see that, drop back, make a play on the ball.
Benton out wide to the right again. 2 receivers wide to the left with the ball on the right hash. At the 30-yard line, 2nd and 10. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. He tries for the play action, but the Seawolves were all over it. They read the play action all day long. It's another sack, although nearly not, as he got about a yard on the scramble, but ticking under 9, and it's 3rd and long.
Freshman Josh Leith right there with the sack. Gunner's able to escape the first 2 defenders in the backfield, but Leith able to finally bring Gunner down after just a yard.
Gunnar Smith checking for his play call, and now he'll call it out. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, ball still on the right hash. 3rd down and 9 for Fordham. Ricky Parks in there, he's offset to the right. Smith takes a snap, drops back to pass. Passing all day. Looking over the left side, and it's picked off at the 50. Here comes a big return. Across the 30, now to the 20. And he's going to go all the way. It's a pick 6 for Stony Brook. The Seawolves lead 40-10 with 8:26 to go in the 4th. On the pick 6, Gunnar Smith's 2nd interception of the day.
Stony Brook drops back into cover 3 there. Gunnar Smith, the play action, tries to hit Ricky Gonzalez over the middle of the field, but the safety sitting in that middle 3rd comes down hard, catches the overthrow, and has a clear path to the pylon, takes it for 6.
And the free safety, redshirt sophomore Demario Crawford on the interception and the return for 6. The extra point is up and through. 41-10 is the score now. Stony Brook has the lead. This game looking very, very similar to the matchup last year at Rose Hill, Brendan.
It is, and Stony Brook has all the momentum right now. They stole it from Fordham, and they have not looked back, scoring points after points, touchdown after touchdown. And now they'll give it back to Fordham. Fordham has a chance to come out and do something. They want to get something going late in this game, and this is their chance now.
Fordham certainly needs something, and Stony Brook certainly also. They stole the momentum away from the Fordham Rams. 2 straight turnovers, 2 straight drives resulting in points for the Fordham Rams, and a 3-point deficit. And since then, they're slamming the door in someone's face. This feels a little bit worse than getting the door slammed in your face. I mean, Fordham really had a whole lot of life in the start of that 3rd quarter, a whole lot of energy. They were on the verge of getting back into this one fully. And then since then, it's just been all gas, no brakes for this Stony Brook team.
After this game, we're going to look back at that one play, the long passing touchdown to Marquise Dietz. That came right after Fordham had forced 2 turnovers and scored 10 straight points. But that answer from Stony Brook in that touchdown by Marquise Dietz kind of took that momentum right back, and Stony Brook hasn't looked back since.
So Michael Menino is set for the kickoff here. 8:26 to go in the fourth quarter, and a 31-point advantage for the home team, Stony Brook Seawolves. Back to return is Johan Lee Lewis. Lewis tries to send it around to the right side, gets near the sideline. He's still up across the 25 and steps out of bounds at around the 26. So Fordham going to start with a little bit of plus territory. There is a flag on the field well after the play, and
a little bit of extracurriculars after the play there in the middle of the field.
Could be a personal foul here.
Couple of Fordham players and a Stony Brook player getting into it a little bit after that return. That was the spot where the flag was thrown.
And it seems like it's gonna be no offsetting. Oh, are we gonna have another re-kick?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Tucker.
So another re-kick, a face mask against the Fordham Rams, and offsides against the kicking team, Stony Brook, and we are going to have our second re-kick of the half.
Tucker, this is what we trained for.
This is exactly what we trained for, Brendan. I'm sure Chris Carino is somewhere very envious of the fact that we got to call this. But regardless, we will kick it off again. The clock now reads 8:19. And Menino is ready for another kickoff. Bit of an unorthodox kickoff strategy from Stony Brook. They line up all bunched up near the sideline and then all sprint towards the middle and then turn upfield after the ball is kicked. It lands down at the 20. It's a live ball. They do finally pick it up. Fordham's return team was treating it like a punt there for a moment. But Johan Lee Lewis falls on top of it at around the 22. And so a relatively similar field position for Fordham as well.
Yeah, that one was a disaster, though, for Fordham. It bounced. It was a very short kickoff in terms of what we've seen from the Stony Brook kickoff so far today. But then a backwards bounce away from Johan Lee Lewis. He has to run up and almost put his body on the line just to grab this ball.
And you hate to see any kind of a mental lapse like that on either side. But Fordham needing to lock in here, down by 31. With minimal time trying to get back into this football game. First play of the drive is a run out to the left side. It gets about 2 yards. The ball will be placed on the left hash mark, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, just an outside zone there. Play to Parks. Just trying to pick up a few yards, just move bit by bit down the field.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 1 wide receiver to the right, 2 stacked up to the left. Fakes the handoff to Parks, who leaves the backfield. Looking way downfield for Noden Tracy. It's almost intercepted again, but it's incomplete. The Seawolves defenders are running absolutely wild right now. Anytime the ball is in the air, they're trying to get their hands on it.
A.K. Kamara, the guy on the coverage there on Noden Tracy. Gunnar Smith sees only one safety sitting over the top. You can take your shots on the outsides, so he goes for it. But A.K. Kamara all over that one, and he knocks it down.
7:41, a frozen clock here with 8 to go, 3rd down. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Smith drops back to pass. Now flushed out of the pocket. He'll take it himself upfield. He has a lead blocker in Ricky Parks, but he runs out of bounds at about the 37 or the 38-yard line. Move those sticks on the scramble by Gunnar Smith.
Yeah, Stony Brook just now playing a lot of drop coverage, just dropping 8 guys, rushing 3, but sitting further back than usual. They're going to let Fordham have the short stuff and rally and tackle.
1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Fordham trying to move quickly here. Clock at 7:15. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 3 receivers on the right. Play action, looking right. Now he throws to the right, but it's a low throw, and it's going to be incomplete. He had a hole there for Jabril Carter between 3 defenders on that right side near the 50, but incomplete.
Yeah, he had a hole there. You said it, Tucker, in between a couple of a linebacker and a safety, a couple of those short to intermediate zones. You had a receiver sitting just in between those. Gunnar just underthrows that one a tiny bit.
And so, 2nd down and 10 to go. on their own 38. Gunnar Smith shotgun. 3 receivers on the right. Drops back to pass. Looking right. Fires for Jack Freeberg, and he has the catch at the 30.
Pass complete to Jack Freeberg.
A big gain there. 30 yards down the field, and Fordham quickly switching sides of the field here.
Yeah, Gunnar throws that one right over the head of JoJo Garcia for the big completion.
Fordham on the move. 3 receivers on the left. Quick snap. Handoff up the middle to Johan Lee Lewis. He gets absolutely nothing. The Seawolves D-line has really stood strong in this game. Earlier on, Fordham had a bit of the run game going, but really in this second half, that front 4 has been locked down for Stony Brook.
Not just that front 4, but the front 7 overall has just been so good at getting to the ball and getting the ball carrier down.
1 receiver on the right is Noden Tracy between the numbers and the sideline. 2 receivers on the left, and 1 man offset to the left for Gunnar Smith. Takes the snap, looks to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, fires to the right. It's almost intercepted again, but it is incomplete. He was trying to go to Tracy on that right side, and it brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Gunnar looking to scramble there. He steps up in the pocket, sees nothing, scrambles right, still nothing, and he wants to scramble, but Stony Brook just has defenders sitting right there past the line of scrimmage in pursuit. He has to try and hit Tracy there. That throw just a little behind Tracy.
3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right is Jack Betton, who comes in to replace Noden Tracy. Ricky Parks offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. Smith looking to his sideline. A much quieter sideline now, I must say, than in that third quarter, Brendan. Gunnar Smith still in the shotgun. Now Ricky Parks moves from left to right. Claps to the snap, drops back to pass, looking left. Now flushing out to the left, throws on the run. He has a man at the 18, and his knee comes down, but he scampers across the 20-yard line for a couple of extra yards. I believe that might have been Freeberg again, and Fordham inside the 20.
Yeah, Freeberg there has to come back to that ball from Gunnar, ends up catching it on the run, coming back towards the line of scrimmage, but he's able to turn and dive across that first down.
And Coach Billy Kosh did not like the look of his defense against Fordham's offense before that last play. He burns Stony Brook's first timeout with 5:40 left to play here in the 4th and a 31-point lead.
Big lead here for Stony Brook. You don't like what you see, you've got to call that timeout, but Fordham this drive, they've been moving the ball down the field. Gunnar Smith is doing what he needs to. He's done it. He's picked up first downs on the ground. He's picked up a couple through the air. This is the type of drive that Fordham wants to see.
Freeberg now up to 4 catches, 54 yards, the longest, that 32-yarder that had them on this side of the field. Fordham now at the 19-yard line of Stony Brook. Back to passes, Gunnar Smith fires to the right. It's complete. That's Jay now, and the ball comes out, but Fordham falls on it. As he was trying to fight for extra yards, the ball comes loose, but luckily a Fordham Ram right there to fall on top of it.
Yes, such a good job by Jack Betton there. He sees the ball come loose out of Jaden Allen's hands, and he's right there, and he immediately just dives on top and keeps the ball for the Rams.
A red zone turnover would be a death sentence for the Fordham Rams at this point. Ticking under 5 minutes here. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. He's going for the end zone to the left corner. One-handed attempt on the catch by Jack Freeberg, but it's incomplete. And Gunnar Smith took a mighty shot in the backfield after throwing that ball.
Yeah, Stony Brook brings pressure out of the slot on Gunnar Smith's left. He sees this corner barreling down at him, and Gunnar Smith throws right over him towards Freeberg. Unlucky on the catch, and Gunnar Smith got leveled in the backfield.
2 receivers wide to the left, 2 to the right. One of them's a tight end. Ball on the right hash. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Back to pass, looking over the middle. Now he has a man at the 10. He's hit immediately, is Noden Tracy. But right at that 10-yard line, the officials signaling 4th down, but it'll be 4th and very, very short, maybe a yard.
And Fordham lining up to go quick.
And this looks like a tush push from the Fordham Rams. They move it forward from the 10. No signal yet, but the referees look to be beyond the chains. Fordham and Stony Brook players peeling themselves off the turf right now.
looks like they're going to give him a first down here.
Yeah, so they got it. They'll move the chains, and it's 1st and goal. So now ball on the 9-yard line. Fordham, 9 yards to go to try and get in the end zone, and they have 4 downs to do it. First down. Gunnar Smith takes the snap, looks right to pass, now steps up in the pocket, stiff arms a man to get loose. Now he's at the 5 and he steps out of bounds at the 4. Thought about the end zone there, but thought better of taking the hit or maybe losing the football, so he runs out of bounds, stops the clock, and gets a big gain for Fordham now at the 4-yard line.
A great pocket awareness there by Gunnar. He can sense that this pressure is starting to get there, and he steps up through a gap. He senses a guy coming from his left, stiff arms, and runs.
2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. The man on the right is Jack Benton. Ricky Parks offset to the right of Gunnar Smith. Smith takes the snap, hands it off to Parks. He tries to barrel through the middle. He's still fighting for yards, and he's going to be stopped right between the 1 and the 2-yard line. I believe they'll mark it at the 2.
At the 2-yard line.
So that brings up 3rd down now, as the clock is going to tick under 3 minutes to go in this one.
Yeah, Parks is trying to push his way up the gut there, keep his feet moving, and he's able to get a little bit, just not enough to reach that end zone.
2:55 on this clock. 41-10 is the lead for Stony Brook. Fordham knocking on the door of the end zone. Gunnar Smith takes the snap, hands it off, up the middle. It's Jacob Rodriguez, and he's in. Rodriguez, on his first touch of the game, is into the end zone for the Fordham touchdown. It's 41-16 Stony Brook.
Rodriguez sees the gap just off the left tackle there and pushes his way through a couple of defenders, just gets that ball across the plane and scores a touchdown.
The power running that Fordham has been looking for pretty much all game out of both Jamel James and Ricky Parks, who couldn't really get awesome pushes out of the initial area of the line of scrimmage. Fordham going to go for 2 here. Going to try and make it a 41-18 deficit. Man in motion. Gunnar Smith takes the snap. He shovels it to Rodriguez, and he's in. The 2-point conversion is good. Gunnar Smith on the quick little Patrick Mahomes shovel to Jacob Rodriguez, and Fordham cuts the lead. It's now 41-18 Stony Brook with 2:45 to go in the 4th.
We see this type of play in the game a decent amount now, where you have the quarterback sprint out. Looks like he's looking to pass, maybe in the flat, and then just comes right back to the trailing running back with a shovel pass. Jacob Rodriguez, in that case, who spins into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
And so, Fordham now trails by 23 here with 2 3/4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. You have to wonder, Brendan, does the onside kick come out here?
I don't think so.
Stony Brook with just 1 timeout. Fordham has 3 timeouts, so they could get the stop. And, oh, it looks like they're lining up for it. Fordham is going to try the onside kick. They were all bunched up, and now they spread out to either side. There's 4 far on the right and 6 on the left. Now they shift again, and they switch sides. And now Henderson kicks it to the right, but it is gobbled up there by the hands team at the Fordham 48. So the onside kick, no dice for the Fordham Rams, and now Stony Brook, incredible field position, but Fordham still, with all 3 of their timeouts this half, can stop the clock 3 times this drive, and the 2-minute timeout is also in play.
Those onside kicks just so hard to execute, Tucker. You got to get that perfect bounce, and Henderson does a good job with the way that ball is spinning, just doesn't get the bounce.
And Chris Zealous is out of the game for Stony Brook. It's the backup quarterback Casey Case in there.
Down at the 45-yard line. Pick up 2.
So with the 23-point lead, Stony Brook does not feel the need to play their starters anymore with less than 2 minutes 30 to go. 20 seconds now left before the 2-minute timeout, and it seems like Stony Brook is going to let this one tick all the way down.
And Tucker, Casey Case in his 2nd game this season. He got into week 1 between Stony Brook and SDSU, was able to get into that one late in the game, and makes it into the game today as well.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Brendan,
2-minute warning.
there might be a couple defensive players out there lined up next to Casey Case just for a little extra protection.
That would be
maybe a couple of fullbacks really trying to keep him safe back there. But that brings us to the 2-minute timeout. So we'll take a quick break before the final 2 minutes of this one. Stony Brook leads the Fordham Rams 41-18. And we'll be right back. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hey guys, Grace McCarron here with Jack Warner.
And we're two of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's one and only baseball podcast.
We'll keep you in the loop on all tri-state news with the Yankees and Mets,
as well as the biggest headlines from around the MLB.
Catch weekly episodes of Nosebleeds on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases with Nosebleeds on WFUV Sports.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Laval Stadium. 2 minutes left on the clock here between the Stony Brook Seawolves and the Fordham Rams. 41-18 is the score. Fordham trails. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. Where the sky here in Stony Brook, New York has turned a golden yellow, the sun hiding behind a large sheet of gray clouds for a majority of this second half, but off in the distance, we can see it peeking through where the cloud cover stops, and it is a gorgeous evening. It's not as fun to look at the scoreboard, Brendan, but with 2 minutes to go, the Fordham defense will try to throw the brakes on this offense for Stony Brook that has a couple of second stringers in there, including the quarterback Casey Case. He takes the snap and hands it off up the middle to Ikeka Ragsdale. Ragsdale with about a 5-yard gain. That brings it to the 39. And Fordham is going to have to burn their first time out here on 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Stony Brook and just going to keep this ball on the ground, force Fordham to use all 3 of their timeouts. Fordham does a good job stopping Ikeka Ragsdale after just a couple of yards on this run, but a big 3rd down coming up for both teams.
So with the day effectively complete here for Chris Zealous, could read his stat line as final, and it is stunning to say the least. Chris Zealous, 21 for 28 passing for Stony Brook, 3 touchdowns, an interception, and 181.2 QBR.
Very impressive.
Unbelievable game, especially considering the way the first 2 games went offensively for this Stony Brook team. It's another handoff to Ragsdale from Case, as that will likely be all that the Stony Brook Seawolves want to run. Fordham stops him short of the first, so that brings up 4th down and 2, and Fordham burns their second timeout to stop the clock at 1:49. So if the punt unit does come out, and it looks as though they may, Fordham should have some time on the clock, but I can't say the same about the field position, Brendan. I don't know if they will be getting a beneficial amount of yards.
No, punt unit does come out, but you got to think this punt will probably put Fordham inside the 15, maybe even the 10, with no chance of return even.
Clayton Taylor, the punter, standing right on top of the midfield logo, the navy gray, white, and red Seawolf, as he boots it away from the 50. It's high. It's well within the right range. It lands at the 10, and it's going to come to rest at the half-yard line. What an unbelievable punt from Clayton Taylor, and probably the worst possible scenario for the Fordham Rams, save a fake punt and going for it.
Listen, as Taylor, you just want to get enough air under this ball where your team can go get under it and force a fair catch. this is best case scenario here where Kemper decides to leave this ball, let it bounce, and hopefully it's a touchback, but it just slowly rolls to the half-yard line, and Fordham is in a very difficult position here.
And, right as I mentioned the fact that the sun had not come out for a very long time, Brendan, quite literally 2 minutes later, the sun peeks out from under those clouds, finally sets enough. Now it's right in our eyes.
Because why would
and we can barely see. But a minute 37 to go here. Fordham backed up on their own half-yard line. Gunnar Smith standing halfway inside of the Stony Brook logo in the end zone. It's a handoff up the middle, and they get back to the line of scrimmage. Does Ricky Parks, but not much more than that. It'll probably bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you're in such a tough situation here if you're Fordham. You don't want to take a sack in the end zone, but you also want to be able to push the ball down the field here. It's a very possible lose-lose situation.
Just one timeout, and the clock will now likely tick under a minute after the next play. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers stacked on the left, 1 on the right. Play action, standing in his own end zone, fires to the left. He goes up for the one-handed interception, does the D-back, but it's out of his hands. What an insane attempt at the play there by Bryson Parker. Intended receiver was Jack Freeberg, but now 3rd down and 9 to go from their own 2.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith just has to stand in there and deliver that ball. Defensive lineman coming right at him, and he stands, he delivers, and he gets nailed. Not a bad throw, but Bryson Parker, great play on defense.
Incompletion stops the clock at 59. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. He's standing in his own end zone. He tries to move out of his own end zone, and now he's brought down around the 2-yard line, so he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that is going to bring up 4th down and 9 in a go-for-it situation. But it seems like Fordham might actually be punting away. 35 seconds left and ticking here with 1 timeout. Fordham, it seems content to let the clock wind here as they'll try to get this play away before a delay of game. There's about a 12-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. Fordham lining up for a punt. Will Hazlitt standing as close as you can to the baseline of the end zone as you possibly can. And there was movement on the offensive line, I believe, for the Fordham Rams. It is going to be a false start. They don't have 5 yards to back them up here, Brendan, so I imagine this is half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance, it's going to be about half a yard. In all reality, in a situation like this, it doesn't make a huge difference, but if you end up getting...
I would argue it even might make a difference, Brendan, because this is how close... The defensive line is almost breathing on Will Hazlitt in the back of his own end zone right now. He's going to try and get this ball out.
It's just one-step punt. That's kind of where you're at in a situation like this.
If even for a step.
1 or 2 seconds back there before that ball has to be away.
It seems like I'm not really sure what they're trying to call here. They already called the false start.
False start on the offense, 10-second runoff.
And delay of game. So now there's one second on the clock, although it's not in a time.
A 10-second runoff happens here in terms of these penalties.
So, yeah, 10-second runoff. Good catch, Brendan. There was 11, really, there were 10 seconds on the clock before, so now just 1 second left on the game clock. It ticks down, and now I believe the game is over. So really odd, a very ref-ball-y end to the game. I'm not really sure what was going on there. I have to imagine the referees thought that Will Hazlitt was going to get mobbed in the back of the end zone and probably just saved his life, the way that Stony Brook has been playing on special teams. But that does it. After a pair of penalties by the Fordham Rams backed up against their own end zone, the 10-second runoff runs all the time off the clock, and this ball game is over. 41-18 is the final. Stony Brook gets the win, and Brendan, this is another game where we saw flashes of greatness from this Fordham team. Flashes of what could be a winning team even in that third quarter specifically. But then look at the other 3 quarters in this football game, and just everything was going Stony Brook's way.
Yeah, we're seeing flashes, and it's been a different part of this team every week. We saw today the running game was decent. We saw the defense out there creating turnovers, giving their offense the ball back, and the offense finished a couple of those drives. But there were also instances like where the offense gets a 1st and goal at the 1, and they end up getting the field goal blocked and never convert on that drive. Or the defense giving up a decent amount of rushing yards today, given they're going against one of the better running backs they will see all year. But Roland Dempster had a very good game against this Fordham defense. But at some point, you need to be able to put these flashes together and complete a game.
Yeah, and I would say if the Fordham defense, really compared to how Roland Dempster has played previously, I think they almost put a cap on him. He still had 94 yards, but he didn't score, which is not a similar scoreline to the ones he's had earlier in this season.
And he didn't have 100 yards either.
Didn't have 100 yards, so that he had 200 plus last week, goes under 100 this week. The run defense was fairly solid. However, this week it was the passing defense that really started to falter. 260 yards passing allowed by this Fordham defense. Marquise Dietz alone had a touchdown to go with 120 yards on 6 catches. He had an incredible game tonight, and I really think the Stony Brook passing game has fully fledged.
And it's not just 250 plus yards, but it's to a team that had come into this game. Chris Zillis came into this game completing under 50% of his passes. He came in with 158 total passing yards between the first 2 games. He came in with 0 passing touchdowns between the first 2 games. Then he came in here and did what he did to Fordham. Yes, there were flashes, but there are also things that need to be fixed.
Stony Brook 41, Fordham 18 is the final in regulation. Stony Brook gets their 2nd straight win against the Fordham Rams and also takes the lead in the all-time series 5-4 over the Fordham Rams. Stony Brook moves on to play Lindenwood next week in Missouri, while Fordham will stay on the road up in Hamilton, New York against Colgate. We send you now for the final time back to the Rose Hill studio in the Bronx for the one-on-one post-game report. Here are Grace McCarron and Isabella Terracini. Take it away.
The one-on-one post-game report.
And welcome into your one-on-one post-game report. Your final score from Long Island, 41-18 for the Stony Brook Seawolves. The Fordham Rams fall to 0-3 on the season. Once again, I'm Grace McCarron, joined by my co-host Isabella Terracini, and we are now joined by Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey from Long Island. Guys, great job today, and thank you for joining us. Tucker, I've got one quick question for you, and then Isabella has one for Brendan. Tucker, what did you think of Fordham starting quarterback Gunnar Smith's play today after what we've seen from him in his past 2 games?
Well, I thought this game looked a lot more like the Boston College game. Of course, not as stifled was Gunnar Smith in this game as he was in the Boston College game, but certainly almost like a 180 from the Monmouth game last week. Gunnar Smith, and I mean we talked about it during the pregame show, Brendan. Gunnar Smith had an excellent game under the lights for the Fordham Rams in his first game at home at Moglia Stadium last week. But then he comes out this week, and Stony Brook really had a plan of attack for his passing game. Couldn't really get anything going on his reads. Even when he was trying to check down or go to an emergency play, those weren't even firing the right way. I go back to the shovel pass to Ricky Parks that went off the back of his helmet. Just like a lot of miscues when the play that was designed sort of fell apart. I mean, 163 yards passing is still fairly solid, but I mean, you throw in the 2 interceptions compared to 1 touchdown. Really, his play later in the game sort of saved his QBR. But this was not the type of game that I was expecting to see out of Gunnar Smith, and my big hope for him is that he's able to take what he can learn from this game and just take it with him and turn the page going into Patriot League next week, because the Patriot League is not an easy league in which to pass the football. And so He's going to be challenged week after week by these Patriot League defenses in his passing game and in his decision-making ability. This game scares me a little going into Patriot League play, but after seeing last week what he can do against a Monmouth squad that is fairly solid and from the same conference as Stony Brook, I think Gunnar Smith has what it takes to bring Fordham a win going forward. But unfortunately, that was not the play that we saw on the field today.
Thank you for that. Brendan, looking at the weeks ahead, I have a quick question for you. Talking about, conference play coming up, with all of the injuries from today, how does their potential limited availability affect the coming weeks, including next week at Colgate?
Yeah, I think the place where it really hurts the most is in that running back room. Jamel James, who was kind of looking to be Fordham's lead back, and we talked to Coach Conlon this week, and he said that this running back by committee isn't going to last too much longer. There's going to be a lead back at some point soon. And it really looked like Jamel James was kind of going to take that role from these other two guys. But him going down, he came into the game as Fordham's leading rusher in terms of total rushing yards. That's definitely going to hurt. The injuries on the D-line, on a D-line that's already a little depleted, a D-line that, they have some playmakers, but that depth is really their big strength. Those injuries definitely aren't going to help, so you can only just hope that this team gets healthy. Not to even to mention James Conway going down. That is probably the biggest injury that this Fordham team could ever have at this moment. Your leading tackler, your signal caller on defense, your biggest leader on the team going down. It's definitely going to impact this defense and the way they play. And you can only hope that these guys are going to get healthy in time, not just for Patriot League play, but just in the next couple of weeks.
All right, thanks again, guys, for joining us. Now, before we break down that second half of football, Isabella has her final scoreboard update of the night.
One-on-one scoreboard.
All right, bringing it back to the Bronx here at Fordham. Men's soccer will be in Kingston, Rhode Island, facing the Rams tonight at 7. Women's volleyball has dropped their match today to Temple after 4 sets with winning 1. Women's soccer will be at Moglia Stadium tomorrow at 1 p.m. in a matchup with the Yale Bulldogs. The final time tonight, I'm Isabella Terracini with the one-on-one scoreboard.
Thank you, Isabella. Now we're going to take you through some highlights of that second half. To open the second half very early on, Gunnar Smith almost immediately sacked twice by Stony Brook, and then shortly afterward, Fordham's famed linebacker James Conway, who we just mentioned, grabbed a critical interception for the Rams.
Now looks over the middle to Benici, but it's intercepted at the 40-yard line by James Conway. He's brought down at the 31, but a huge play for the Fordham defense, and Fordham has the ball going the other direction.
Next up, Bennett Henderson with a field goal to finally put Fordham's first points on the board and to bring the score to 13-3.
But now Fordham sends out Bennett Henderson to try and put 3 on the board for the Rams. It'll be about a 24-yarder. The kick is up, and it is good.
The kick is good.
Fordham on the board.
And then we've got ourselves a football game. Fordham's Trey Worrell scores the Rams' first touchdown of the day, making it 13-9 Seawolves.
To the right, slightly offset of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 3 on the line on defense for Stony Brook. Back to passes Smith after the play action. He has a deep shot down the sideline to the end zone. Touchdown, Fordham! A huge shot down the field. Fordham scores. It's Troy Worrell, and it's 13-9 Stony Brook with 8:19 to go.
And then Stony Brook quickly responds, a 93-yard touchdown from Marquise Dietz to make it back-to-back touchdowns, and they regain a 10-point lead.
Down the middle, he is a wide-open man. It's caught at the 40. Now at the 50, he's loose to the other 40. Now the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Stony Brook. Marquise Dietz. A 95-yard passing touchdown.
And then the hits kept coming for Fordham as Stony Brook's Jace Freeman scored another touchdown for the Seawolves. It's now 26-10 for the home team.
Second down and 18. On the 19.
Zealous calling his play, now drops into the shotgun with Roland Dempster right behind him. 1 wide receiver on the right, 1 on the left. It's a fake handoff to Dempster. Rolling out is Jace Freeman.
He gets to the 5, reaches for the end zone, and he's in! Stony Brook touchdown! Jace Freeman. He runs a route from the left side to the right around the line of scrimmage. And after the catch, he reaches for the pylon, and it's 26-10 Stony Brook.
And then Jace Freeman gets his second touchdown of the game, making it 33-10.
Looking for the end zone on the right side is Zealous, and he has it for the touchdown. Jace Freeman mosses Alex Kemper in the back right corner of the end zone, and Stony Brook has a 33-10 lead over the Fordham Rams.
All right, and then Gunnar Smith with a pick 6 for Stony Brook to score yet again. And then we had a Rodriguez touchdown for Fordham to bring your final score to 41-18 for Stony Brook. Fordham falls to 0-3 on the season as they enter Patriot League play against Colgate next week. Isabella, I'm going to hand it off to you. This very different second half from the first half. First half, not a lot of offense. Very good defensive play on both sides. And then second half, Stony Brook kind of just ran with it. It was pretty quick after Gunnar Smith got sacked twice. We had the James Conway interception, and then Fordham got on the board with a touchdown. But after that, it was kind of touchdown after touchdown for Stony Brook. What did you see in the second half?
I saw a lot more of what we were talking about back in halftime. We were
Mhm.
saying that, this game's been all defense. Now it turned all offense.
Yep.
It was 13-0 going into the half. It is 41-18 to end the game, to end today. It's probably already dark out, but I do want to talk about how we were talking about breaking down during halftime, all of the defense, and then straight out the gates, it was just 2 sacks back to back, and then points after turnovers, those back to back. It was a really quick second half and no complaints, but I would like to go into conference play with a little bit more confidence that we could hopefully see from Gunnar and the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's a good segue, actually. I was just about to bring up the difference in quarterback play today. Gunnar Smith for Fordham, 16 of 33, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And then we had Chris Zealous for Stony Brook Seawolves, 21 of 28, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Big game for the Stony Brook quarterback. Good for him to see that. But it's kind of tough to win these kinds of games when Gunnar Smith's struggling so much. And, in the first half, we talked about the defense and how strong they were. And maybe that was what was stopping Gunnar Smith from really showing his true colors. But in second half, it was all offense from Stony Brook. Fordham defense fell apart a little bit there. But we mentioned earlier the injuries that we had today. Unfortunately, Jamel James, the lead running back, it appears, for Fordham at the moment, he left, was not putting weight on his leg. And then James Conway, as we've been saying for many weeks, lead tackler in the FCS.
D1.
In D1. He holds the Patriot League career tackles record.
It's really hard seeing him go down.
Really, Brendan put it succinctly, the worst possible scenario for the Fordham Rams, kind of on both because of his play and because of his leadership that he brings to both the defense and the entire team.
As a captain, too.
As a captain. So we wish him all the best, but what do you think of this? As they go into Colgate next week, they start Patriot League play, and then they come home in 2 weeks to play Holy Cross. What do you need to see going forward?
Just a lot from everyone. I mean, having captains go down is not an easy thing to watch. Putting a light spin on it, it calls up a lot of other people that are in that defensive room and that RB room and even in the QB room. You, as the players, they just need to be way more cohesive. They need to have a mutual understanding between not only captains, but all players of all levels. I mean, they're going to start looking into, second and third strings. Hopefully not, but that is worst case scenario. And knowing that, it's going to make conference play a lot more challenging, but that should also kind of make it want to be winnable.
Yeah. Now, looking at the Patriot League standings as we go into Patriot League competition next week, Fordham obviously tied for last as they are 0-3, but this is I think Tucker mentioned it when we were talking with them. This is not an easy conference for them. Lehigh's 3-0, Lafayette's 2-1. You got Bucknell hanging around there at 500. They have not played their third game yet, but it's going to be tough if they keep going like this. From what I saw personally, and I think the guys brought this up as well, like, didn't love this game from Gunnar Smith. Obviously, you worry about what this might do to his confidence because there are other options at quarterback. You don't want to go to those. They seem to want to put their trust in Gunnar Smith, especially after a solid first 2 games as the Fordham starter. But obviously, it's going to be tough if this kind of trend keeps up. You've got to win a football game at some point.
Yeah, especially going into conference play. Like, the season is still young, but that should just mean so much more for the coming weeks. It's hard seeing captains go down early in the season, like we've just been talking about. But having so much responsibility for a young quarterback, it's like, I think going into conference play, it'll challenge him, but it'll do him right. I think I see him coming out as a better quarterback on the end of this.
Absolutely. Well, just for some quick stat comparisons before we wrap up here. Total yardage, Stony Brook led 441 to 287. Passing yards, they led 260 to 163, as we mentioned earlier. They also led in rushing, which Fordham was leading at the end of the first half. Overall, not a great showing from Fordham today. Definitely things fell apart in the first half, but that is just about going to do it for us from the Rose Hill studio. Thank you all for listening. Final score today, as we mentioned, 41-18 Stony Brook, and Fordham will return next Saturday in Hamilton, New York against the Colgate Raiders. But for now, I'm Grace McCarron. That's Isabella Terracini, my co-host. Thank you to Tucker Austin, Brendan Shorey for their call today. We had Owen Kelty behind the board, Mary Hannah Gallagher engineering. Bobby Chaffardini is your sports director for WFUV. Thank you all for listening. Fordham Football is a production of WFUV Sports.